heated things got in Washington, virtually everyone, Republican or Democrat, liked Lindsey. Well, not everybody, but it sounds good. Not everybody. He was a tough cookie, okay? I have to veer from this for a second. He was a tough cookie, darling, but he was beautiful. Heated things got. Our nation needs more men and women like that great person sitting, laying, wherever he may be. I think I know where he is, and I think he's up there. I think he's watching us. I'm pretty sure of it.
Hello, humans. This is your power report for the, I guess at this point, the summer of 2026. We're currently recording on the 2nd of August, 2026. I am Dan, joined with ceez. How's it going?
What up? What up?
It's been a minute. Everyone is on vacation, as they should be, as is deserved. But, you know, we're out here, and it is great to be with y'all. I am refreshed from my own travels. I did a little bit of spent some time with family, and yeah, I've just been enjoying summer as it's come to me in New York. It's been great. Olympics. I'm sorry, not Olympics, but Knicks winning, World Cup. There's been a lot of fun stuff out here. We're about to have the Caribbean Festival on Labor Day, so yeah, just kind of chilling into my summer stasis of distracting myself from things that depress me.
You make me sick living in a communist city like New York, you fucking sick bastard.
I did tell ceez that there are certain parts during this broadcast where I may need to go either let a package in because I'm expecting a delivery, or I may have called a prayer because of Imam Mamdani. So there's
I heard
little
they were
things
installing
like
the sirens everywhere, like it's I heard they're installing them, so you can hear the prayer times.
Zoran
or Maghreb.
Zoran's the only real politician in a while in New York City to balance. So we're actually going to be using the NYPD sirens on the cars for the call to prayer. So that way we save money. The sirens are already there. They're just going to be like, they're already out in the streets. We're just going to
get out of the house and come pray. Like what?
That was a really great Obama, by the way. Get out of the house and come pray.
Hey, get out of the house. Get out of the house. Michelle.
6 more Trump turns just after that.
Oh yeah. Sorry guys. Sorry. Sorry.
Okay, no, but there's a lot that happened. Of course, it's like, in this format of Power Report where we are not sticking to every single news event that happens, and probably for my mental health, that's probably a good thing. So there's going to be so much stuff we miss, so much stuff we can't cover. But of course, the idea is we take that constraint and we use it to distill the best stuff that we did. Our last episode, which I think was put out such good vibes in the world that Spencer Pratt didn't win. I'm still riding off of that high. So let's continue, especially I'll happily take credit. This is a shameless era of season Dan here. But this is also the era where we have some primaries that are going to be wrapping up soon in Michigan and Missouri. If you are within earshot of my voice within the day or day after I am recording, please do what you can, not just to post online, but if you can phone bank, that would be great. If talking on the phone is scary, it is for me too, says the person with a microphone in front of his face. Just, recite the script to yourself in the mirror a couple times, and then you are out to the races after you do that. Okay. Little Nintendo DS phone over here.
Pantomiming while you're selling it. I'm telling them to open up their folds in Michigan, open that shit up and be like, yo, you gonna fucking vote, dog? That's what you gotta do.
You ain't slick. You just wanted to show the world your Nintendo DS.
Show off my Huawei. Show everybody my new Huawei.
Not too loud.
My trifold.
Not too loud.
Yeah, sorry.
If you say Huawei 3 times,
MKBHD can have one, but I can't have one. Okay.
MKBHD is also allowed to speed in New Jersey. I don't think anyone else can do that.
Hey man, what the hell, dog? I want to speed into fucking New Jersey.
I mean, I want to speed to get out of New Jersey, but you know, that's
But like literally a quick point. I think it's great that you know he really lives in New Jersey because 1 out of every 10 videos has good weather. Every other video he's in like sleet, rain, cold. I'm like, it fucking blows wherever he lives. Like it's only 1 or 2 videos will have nice weather, and it's probably the 2 videos he makes in the summer.
Yep.
My
Which is funny.
It's rough out there, dog.
It's funny you say that because I got a flood watch alert because it's raining in New Jersey right now.
You guys get out of like the most insane heat summer ever, and then next it's like, here comes the water from the mountains.
Remind folks, it is August 2nd.
It's okay. It's okay. Climate change isn't real, guys. Come on, let's just like knock it out. This always happens. This is so normal.
Shout out to everyone in the chat right now watching live. Pinkerbell, Squishmallow Dragon, HBX,
Everybody.
someone else, Nachiket, Bad Lefty, Aaron Patton. It's great to see y'all.
If you guys are wondering, I've completely devoured Bam. I'm like cell like 19 now. I have devoured him, and I'm consistently getting stronger every time I devour. I want to know who's next, so I can just keep getting bigger.
It's like some sort of Kirby thing.
Yeah. It's a nerd reference. No, let's keep going. Let's just
listen. There's a lot of ways I could have landed that plane. And I'm glad we turned in that direction.
Yeah. I'll take that. I'll take Kirby.
You know what?
But the mean swallowing the food, that's me.
I do want to continue starting with pleasantries. But you know, we are talking about the news. But Lindsey Graham did die. Backwatch.
R.I.P. dog. You know what I'm saying?
I ran out of weed. And I swear to you, so I ran out of weed for my pack watch when Lindsey Graham died. And all I had in my room was bubbles.
Oh.
Well, close. I had bubbles from a wedding where we were all supposed to like blow bubbles at the bride and groom as they were walking down the. Guess what race they were. Anyway, so that was what That's what I had. It was adorable. Congratulations, y'all know who you are. But that was the pack I smoked, the bubble pack, if you will.
Damn, Lindsey didn't even get straight weed out of you. You really disrespected him. You gave him some fucking soap bubbles. That's real.
No, so there's 2 real bits of disrespect. Well, I guess maybe 4. 2 of them I played in the cold open. There's one right here, and I don't think. Let me play this. Go ahead.
Trump went too far, man. You can't go to someone's burial and be like, as he fucking lying there, smelling like ass. He might be up there. I don't know. I hope he is.
There's Lindsey Graham lying there as he lived, bad, ugly, and dead.
You broke bitch. Should have did it myself.
There's also a thing he said I'm sorry, I have to replay part of the cold open clip, but there's this thing where he said was like, no, I can't be nice about that. And I thought Donald Trump gave Lindsey Graham a girlish sort of pet name at the end.
I feel like in his brain he kind of thought he was talking about a shorty he hated, kind of like he kind of was like, she's beautiful. I was like,
yeah,
are you talking about Lindsey Graham or like Lindsey some ex that you fucking hated? Like which Lindsey you thinking about right now?
Same one. Anyways.
There, I think he's watching us. I'm pretty sure of it.
Sorry, I had the wrong clip here. I think it's this one.
Got in from this for a second. He was that tough cookie, darling.
He was a tough cookie, darling. Or Darlene.
I was like,
I heard Darlene.
Oh, Darlene? Is it Darlene or Darlene?
Okay, I have to veer from this for a second. He was that tough cookie, darling. But
you might be right. Also, he has like stage 9 dementia. I don't even think he can pronounce words correctly anymore. No offense. No.
He has stage left dementia. Like,
yeah, His word at the end of the sentence, we're just getting mumbles and run-ons. We're gone. We're so fucking gone.
So now we're gonna get to my second favorite part of Lindsey Graham's funeral.
Darlene is his sister.
Darlene. Oh, got you. That makes more sense, but also that.
So he's here and he's like, I'm just gonna talk to Darlene real quick.
He's like, Darlene, brother,
Darlene.
sister.
That motherfucker was a tough cookie, wasn't he?
Back me up. Am I right? Back me up. I think especially the fact that Darlene being Lindsey Graham's sister, and then like Trump constantly referencing Darlene there, and then now Darlene not only taking over for Lindsey Graham's vacant seat, but also running to be his replacement. Very interesting stuff there. Also, we should probably be hearing about Mitch McConnell's death in a couple days, so we'll even get back to that. But here's my second favorite part of the funeral of Mitch McConnell here. Just before we do that, or before we miss that, the sound here isn't the most important piece, but I want you to notice what Donald Trump does as he walks by the casket here.
Oh yeah, this was crazy. This was some crazy shit right here. Like, you might get shot in Brazil if you did that. You might get fucking shot for that. If you do that, if you pat someone's casket in Brazil, I might have to get up and kick you in your face. That's fucking crazy. Don't be double tapping the fucking casket, man. The hell is that shit?
You want to know exactly what
if he knocked, that would have been sick.
That's the way I treat a car.
Yeah. He's probably, I bet in his head, he's like, no way they got bodies in there. It's fake. It's not true. He should have just got up and started teabagging it like it was Halo or something. Like, what the hell is this, man?
Yeah, he knocks it. He's like, not solid gold. What a little bitch.
Like, smacking a dead person's casket. Do you have no fucking decency, you piece of shit? Leave that bastard dead in his casket alone. It's over. He already did his damage. He paid the ultimate price. He's gone. Don't be smacking the fucking casket, man.
Imagine in death, you even get a neck after that. Just like
even after you die, Donald Trump is still fucking getting the last one on you. He's still getting the last couple on you. Like, fuck this, man.
Well, that's truly the thing that Donald Trump lives for. It's the thing that keeps him alive is spite.
Yeah.
And so this kind of stuff, like, honestly, added years to his life, unfortunately. Months, maybe. But my actual favorite thing was I don't have the clip on me right now, but I believe it was Sean Hannity who said that, I can just imagine Lindsey Graham right now sitting at, Mar-a-Lago in heaven or something like that. And I'm like, of course, it's not is the most frigid take on earth to talk about how like fundamentally cucked the Republican Party is to Donald Trump.
Mar-a-Lago in heaven.
We are, and it's a cold take to also talk about how cucked Christians are to Donald Trump, but we are really every single analogy, jumping the shark. No, we're way past that. The fact that we're incorporating Donald Trump's properties into the canon of like God's heavenly kingdom, we gotta. I'm sorry, they're just out on for display. They're out on display for y'all, and I don't really feel the need to add analysis to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lindsey Graham, dead. Wish he was deader, actually.
Yeah, the pre-roll clips you played, like it's one of like, and I saw it in the chat. I think Aaron said it. Like literally, he was like 10 times funnier in the funeral than he was at the correspondence. Like at the correspondence, it was like watching a Kill Tony stand-up special. It was just like murder in terms of just no jokes, all bombs, like no pun intended. And this guy gets on a funeral and he's getting it crack. He's getting it cracking. He's having a grand old time. He's freestyling. He's not looking off he's just making all the jokes. It was way funnier. It was way funnier at the funeral.
Yeah. I mean, I think, Donald Trump, I
get that writer. We need that writer for everything he does.
I relate to Donald Trump because I do have
literally like great audio for Dan. I relate to Donald Trump.
Please do. I've said this before. I've gotten, wonderful compliments from people saying I'm funny or whatever, and I'm saying I'm really not funny. I may be able to we're having a conversation and I say something that's then funny in the context of that conversation, but outside that context, I can't write a joke. I can't perform. That's not the kind of person. I think Donald Trump's the same way. I think even outside the joke context, when he's on the teleprompter, when he sticks to a script, when he sticks to his speeches, some people might read that as, he's Van Jones, presidential, right? But Donald Trump's a natural riffer. Donald Trump is someone who just he's funny, and to the extent that he's compelling, it comes from off the dome. And so that's definitely clearly his talking point. The other thing about the Correspondents' Dinner, which journalism is dead, the fourth estate is virtually non-existent. We're all doomed to 30-second AI TikTok videos with voices and shit. We live in hell now. I've kind of accepted that and moved on to caring about sports. But so I mean to say I don't care that much about the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I think it's a shamble of a thing as well for journalists to buddy up to the people in power that they're covering all the time. And I'm not saying they need to be adversaries like we have always done during the Trump administration, but the role of a journalist and the role of a politician are largely different. The role of a politician is to see how far they can get with lying. And the role of a journalist is supposed to be pushing politicians as far as they can into telling the truth, or being backed into the corner where they have to tell the truth or get themselves in trouble on record any other way. So the whole Correspondents' Dinner thing I don't like, but I think this, when he sticks, that's what the point I was going to make. All the jokes that were written for him, all the jokes that were written for him, what are we doing in Big 26 with a Bud Light trans joke? What are we doing with all these I think I heard a Fauci joke in there. I had to really rack my brain being a political nerd, thinking we're going back to Trump's 2016, pre-2016 grievances. Wow, really? So yeah, it was just I didn't watch it. But from the clips I've seen, it was cringe comedy. In the sense that it wasn't really funny. You were kind of just watching someone bomb, which I guess is an improvement. A bombing over a shooting at the last Correspondents' Dinner. Bum bum. But yeah, it was that wasn't great. Trump's another big overarching theme of this episode for sure is that Trump's lost the sauce and everyone knows it, including the people who support him.
Yeah, and it was, I'm not gonna, I didn't really watch. I saw the clips, but the clip I just really didn't like was the clip where he was just verbally assaulting Caitlin Collins. I was it's crazy. It's really annoying to be in settings. In my life, I feel like I've been consistently the person who doesn't stand by and just NPCs when someone's, getting abused or something or mistreated in some kind of public setting. I feel like I've been pretty consistent in my life and stepping in scenarios, but it's really hard to sit there and just watch just dead ass, someone who has infinite power just unleashing bullying on a reporter. I'm you're just making personal digs about her appearance. I'm that's literally the last person with the neck vagina to talk about anybody's appearance. It sucks. No one can just either punch him in the face or mute his mic. That's what's really annoying. He can't get muted. Remember, I wish we could have really pushed more for the mic muting, the mic muting like we did during the Biden Trump debates. We should just be able to just activate that shit. Can we get some pranksters to start activating Bluetooth? Can we do some Bluetooth pranks on these presidential things? Can y'all get it really cracking, please?
All these flipper zeros I see out in the world.
Can we put some of these guys? Can you make some better content? If you're gonna use that stupid ass invasive shit, start pranking presidents, please. I want to see some real funny shit, man.
Yeah, well, I think as dystopian and terrible as all this technology is, we are vastly underusing it for how chaotic as it is.
Hey, you're pranking people at Walmart. Go get important people. It's way funnier. Don't be bugging the regular man. Go bug some billionaires.
Yeah, I remember, I'm not even gonna go into it, but I made the mistake of opening Twitter in preparation for this, and
huge mistake.
I haven't updated my Twitter app since Trump got into office. So I'm still using like an old version of it. And so it always loads like super old tweets from whatever the last time I had looked at it was. And so it opens up Twitter and it shows this like 1,000-word or character long thing about like, if you look at Caitlin Collins's genealogy and like racial history, there's a reason why her face and like she can't, smile or anything like that. And she doesn't have even the manners to, it's like, wow, we're doing like Nordic essentialism because a gross old man told a young woman to smile more at her job. Like that's where, and like
God, I miss Twitter so much, dude. I'm seething to get back in there. What a fucking, oh God, I really wish I didn't delete that stupid fucking app, right? I want to hear about Caitlin Collins' fucking genealogy. Oh God.
Anytime I want to hear us talk about why won't Caitlin Collins, I almost
Colin Cowherd?
No, I almost called her Caitlin Caliper because I was saying we need to start measuring the skull and start like, okay, let's get this. Why won't you actually laugh at the president? Is it because your brain's small? Is it because you have is it the one drop rule? Are you too dumb or something? Like like I don't know. It's definitely one of those pieces where, and if I can just make it macro for a moment, it can be as small as these sort of pomp and circumstance show things like state funerals or correspondence dinner party speeches, or something as simple as his ballroom and reflecting pool vanity projects at Washington DC. Sorry, saw Bad Lefty with the phrenology report. That's a funny PR reference.
Phrenology report.
But whatever Trump's vanity project is, it just came out that the Department of Justice, mind you, Trump's Department of Justice, had to drop a charge they had against like an Olympic swimmer, I want to say, because they were going to blame him on the reflecting pool stuff and like, oh, he messed up the pool that's full of algae or whatever. And I was like, they're actually oh yeah, DOJ dropped the case just recently saying, yeah, the Olympic swimmer had nothing to do with it. As far as we can tell, it's because you got a bad contractor. And that will be reported as news today. The DOJ said that Trump got a bad contractor for his reflecting pool and yada yada yada. Way back in March.
Yeah.
Way back in March, we started talking about this shit, and he was like,
this $6 million bad whatever contractor. This guy got millies. Like,
yeah, it skipped all the regular approval you do. The president is not supposed to be in charge of beautifying DC.
Why are you bored? Are you fucking bored? You got time to do this shit?
I mean, yes. He's bored, and he's not. It's no secret he's not that emotionally or like intelligent. He's not that curious, right? He's not that intellectually curious. But that's kind of the point I'm getting at. Is that, like, we are now reporting in August some shit we knew in March as news. Let me take it one step higher. Iran. I got a notification this weekend, and I'm like, okay, State Department says for anyone from the United States who is in the Middle East to get out. The NBA canceled their games, the offseason games they usually play in the Middle East because of the Iran war, and apparently Trump's gonna pop off.
F1 did the whole thing where they moved their Bahrain race to Malaysia. It's how crazy. You're going from Bahrain to Malaysia because of this. And they were kind of hoping it wasn't going to happen. And they're like, fuck it. I guess we're not. I guess he lied. They're going to be there for a while. And if the billionaires are doing that, that they know this shit is extending into the summer.
I'm just assuming they did Malaysia so they could drive, and the F1 did it so they could drive to Malaysia and not fly there, given that history. But so I can do it. But it's the same song and dance. Thursday, Friday, oh, Trump's gonna do these major strikes in Iran. Sunday happens, and then it's like, oh, Trump thinks we're really close to a deal, and so he's gonna call off the big strikes. And then there's a deal, there's not a deal, stock prices go up, stock prices go down. And we've been in this rinse and repeat cycle since literally April. And this goes back to like, I'm glad we do Power Report less frequently, because I would have shot myself. I can't say that. I would have deleted myself if I had to talk about this cycle back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth for the past 5 months and pretend like it's news. Like it would drive me crazy. And there's so many of these other things that happen like that. It's the ballroom. It's, you know, any of his political opponents that he's trying to unjustly charge and like run through the courts. Like it's always this, I'm gonna attack, no I'm not, I'm gonna attack, he's wrong, I'm gonna attack. And it's just like it's Trump fatigue. It is dead ass Trump fatigue. And I think a lot of people, not just me, I see conservatives who are looking at this Iran war thing and like in a typical conservative fashion, they can just block it out of their heads because see also lack of intellectual curiosity. But it is so cyclical that it is starting to become noise. And Donald Trump's best talent is when he talks, people tend to listen no matter what. And he's now even fucked that up. He can't do vanity projects. He can't do statecraft. He can't do deal making. He is really like it would be a hilarious lame duck presidency if there wasn't people getting shot by ICE every week.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty depressing, the fact that the only thing that slows him down, it's not us being angry or like people dying or murder or none of that. It's really the stockpiles. It's like what slows him down. It's like, oh, weapon stocks are down. So they're like, oh, I guess I got to halt the bombing. It's like, what the hell, dude? That's what your only thing, running out. If the quantity diminishing is like the only thing that slows this fucking monster down, it's annoying. And then all of a sudden, oh, I've reached an agreement. There's an agreement in the works. I'm like, oh man, you're doing like 1950s tactics, like bait and switch reporting for the people. It's like the reality is like they've used so much arsenal that they're running out of it, but then they're going to tell the people, I've reached a comprehensive agreement, a tentative agreement, release it to the media so they can start getting excited about it. It's like, oh my God. It's like, it's sickening. And, you know, it doesn't help that we have some fucking brain dead flip-floppers in the Senate, you know, somebody who has to use someone who's in America speaking English to people, using Google Translate to understand what somebody's saying. That brain dead bastard is over here flipping votes on War Powers Act. So, you know, times are just at the peak right now. It's a real fucking peak right now.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Fetterman.
Oh, we're gonna get to the midterms in a moment. I just gotta like, okay,
time to pray.
No, that's a call to prayer now. Shit, damn.
Donnie's son called a prayer. Oh shit, dog.
No,
damn.
No. I mean, he runs a tight program out here.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. Have fun, man. And I'm not gonna play around. You better get outside. They got carpet out there or what?
Yeah, it's the municipal carpet. It's called the stairs on the way down to the subway.
That was so great. That is really Mamdani stand changed. They changed New York.
No, it's truthfully I stream very close to my window. Hi, CIA assassins. Assassins.
Hi,
so
sirens.
anytime there's any sort of sirens or stuff going on my block, it's slightly entertaining.
Yeah.
Because I love people fighting over a one-way street with all the people who double park out here. And you get some funny conversations. There's one time where NYPD was kind of driving down the street and they were stuck. And they were like, y'all got to get out of the way. You can't double park here. And someone else shouts, fuck you. You guys do it all the time. And I don't hear shit else after that. Cop doesn't pop off. People doesn't pop off. Eventually traffic just dissipates. The cop drives off. I'm just like, yo, dude, that's how we do that here.
I can respect that. A clapback shutting a cop up is great.
Dude, every day in New York.
Honestly. The lowest class is the parking people. Like, oof, that is bottom of the barrel enforcement work. That's the rough right there. That's rough.
They weren't even parking enforcement. They were like regular folks, but they're anyways.
Yeah.
What I was getting at, I think. So yeah, we'll get to the Democrats in a moment, but to the Trump stuff, like obviously he's not up for election. Obviously, like MAGA is this massive cult, but I am just very, very curious how it's going to work when you know, it gets close to 2027, 2028, and things don't get any better materially for most people. And Trump is having to, or actually Republicans are having to figure out, okay, how do we let Trump down easily without him like snapping on all of us and taking the party down with him? And if we do nothing, the party will go down with him. It's just, he's putting them in an impossible situation. And I don't feel bad for Republicans, but the party has made this bet behind Donald Trump that just sticking with him through thick and thin is going to continue to get them power.
I mean, did they make that decision, or do they just have no choice? Is it a decision when you don't have a choice? Like I don't really think the Republican Party, if they had any kind of semblance of talent, I mean, they kind of tried like Loft and JD in there, like, oh, hopefully this will work, and just nobody likes the guy. Nobody is fucking with this man. Nobody likes him. And I'm just like, I feel like you just got to ride that shit till the wheels come off, right? Because it's like, he's the only one that can boost seats for like someone running in, you know, like he's the only one with his endorsement that has a decent track record among his own party. So it's like, you kind of just ride it till the wheels fall off and just maybe like distance yourself a little bit and kind of put votes yes on everything. I guess that's the play if you're a Republican. But I mean, borrowing levels of authoritarianism that we haven't seen, you know, in a long time. He's supposed to be gone after. He's supposed to be done after. We'll see. I don't know what's going to happen, you know. But yeah, so they're not doing this a favor. And obviously, I think that the Democratic Party, like there's some hope for some people that are coming up. There's been some movement happening. So we'll see. People just got to vote, man. They just got to that canvassing has to work. It has to be real, you know, or else if we fall asleep at the wheel, we're going to run with this shit again.
I know we're jumping at the bit to get to the electoral stuff because, you know, it's very fun to not talk about the electoral stuff because I think there's a lot more opportunity and possibility and thinking to happen there. But we are in the August before midterm election cycles. That's inevitable.
No offense. It's like, no offense, but I'm just learning way too much about Michigan that my brain just does not need to retain right now. Because we need to these electorals got to hurry up.
And that
was the most California thing. That's the most California thing I've said, and I want to apologize. I'm done now. I had to get that out of my system. I'm knowing about y'all districts way too much. My brain cannot handle. I'm trying to play Halo. Okay, that's all I want to play is Halo and smoke weed. Okay.
I do gotta say, while that does sound funny, considering we last time just did almost half a 3-hour episode on California politics.
Yeah. Okay, fine. You guys can, okay, we'll talk about we'll talk about other places. Whatever, man.
But yeah, I'm less thinking about the individual races. Like, you know, I think, you know, if there was someone who was progressive running against a moderate liberal, I think the answer is obvious, and I don't think you need streamers for that. It doesn't have to be an indictment on anyone. It will be, but in a moment. I still want to just get the Republican stuff off my chest before ceez and I start to get off there. But the deadline I was joking about with Mitch McConnell, I just want to read some stuff off of Newsweek because I need to learn some of this myself. But with this Mitch McConnell situation, we kind of just don't know exactly where he is. We've gotten 2 very AI looking signs of life. We get different messages, sign of life images from him, no videos notably, because AI videos still look very uncanny, and those are very,
the only ones I like are him doing 1-arm push-ups. The AI videos of him doing backflips and push-ups with his wife doing them, I love those. I want his official team to put out those AI videos. If you're going to give me AI crap, I want videos of him doing backflips and shit. That's what I want. Don't give me this with the van covering the newspaper date on there.
Yeah. Let's look here. You know, McConnell says that He continues to work remotely with his staff. His team has released photographs of him at a hospital, but has done little to quell questions about his health and whereabouts. So listen, like,
also he gets to work remote. He gets to fucking work remote.
Interesting.
How's he able to collaborate with his team? How is he collaborating with his team?
Also, can we just like dispel with the bullshit here? Senators don't even work, let alone work from home.
What is he working on?
What is a Senate? If you're a Republican senator, let alone Mitch McConnell, your job has been the same. Go ahead.
This is his job. Go ahead.
Not even that. You don't do shit.
Oh, auto pin.
This is why I was gonna tie back to originally, because I think we were talking about do Republican politicians have a choice in throwing all their support behind Donald Trump or not? And I think it's an interesting conversation because the late, not so great Lindsey Graham basically said that if you are a Republican and you're not behind Trump's agenda, especially on Iran, then he, of course, is going to retaliate against you because that's how Trump is, or that's how it works. But I think McConnell is just a wonderful example of this. And because we don't get to give a proper eulogy to this already dead motherfucker, Mitch McConnell will always be we're going to make Obama a one-term president guy. That's just all he is in my head, because I can memory hole Michigan congressional districts. I can memory hole everything else Mitch McConnell has done, more or less, since he said that in 2009, 2010. And you get the gist, because all he has invented, perfected, and distributed Republican opposition and blocking of any legislative achievement that any Democrat could get done. Build Back Better wasn't enough. It was great, and there was a lot of stuff that got thrown in there, mostly because Congress hadn't passed shit in 10 years. No. But that barely got over the hump. But Mitch McConnell was literally like, our job is to make Obama one-term president. We are going to give him nothing. So I bring that all to the conversation by saying Republicans have chosen detrimental to even their own voters' political strategies since before Trump was even a twinkle in an electoral eye, right? Before he was even considering running for office. Republicans at any time can, and I think in some ways they are. Actually, let me stop right now, because I don't want to do the thing where it's like, oh, Marjorie Taylor Greene is against Epstein, so now she's on our side. Like, I'm not even going to play that game, because, Republicans are basically getting anything they can on record so they can say in an interview, oh, I pushed back against Trump one time. I pushed back against Trump here or there or whatever. But they're not going to actually, they're going to be on his side. They're going to be on the side of evil and capital raising and all that stuff together, right? To get to Mitch McConnell, he was the one who invented the second thing I would add, other than that one-term president thing I just mentioned. The second thing I would add about Mitch McConnell is he was the one who said, oh, well, it would be weird to nominate a Supreme Court justice in an election year. And so he started to block all that shit. So he is the type of, if anything, Mitch McConnell's kind of incredibly politically savvy, and the Republican Party as it exists today would not exist without him. And so you can't put it past someone like Mitch McConnell having a plan for yo, listen, I've been losing connection to the server every single time I get up in front of the podium and start talking about anything political. My time on this ship is about to end, but we have to, enshrine Kentucky Republican rule. And so all these different rules have been changed in Kentucky state law, leading up to the inevitability of Mitch McConnell dying. And now this last one, where I think we need to know by tomorrow. Yeah, here we go. Let me read from here, and then I'll let you jump in here. But according to Newsweek, and that's not how it's supposed to go. According to Newsweek, the August 3rd deadline falls on Monday. That's tomorrow at time of recording. It's viewed by some as an important date to decide whether Andy Beshear, the governor, can call a special election to allow Kentucky voters to elect a new senator, though many of the questions around Kentucky's vacancy laws remain untested in the courts. There are several competing legal provisions, so it's unclear exactly how this would play out. And it goes into some different bills here and there that talk about what happens, whether it's a special election or whether it's a vacancy that the governor can appoint or whatever. But to me, this just feels like one on the way out. Mitch McConnell's like, okay, how can I screw the political system and fuck with all the laws that exist right now and get what I want? And this, you know, this is just Mitch McConnell. Perfect timing, because that's my package. Go ahead.
Okay. So, as you guys know, that was a crazy transition. Dan is currently in trouble because he did not listen to the call to prayer. Things have radically changed in New York. Los Angeles, a little bit better. No sirens here. Huh? You guys want to see my new communist shirt? Oh shit!
Oh wait,
hey,
let me. Sorry,
hey, no, it's okay. No, it's okay.
You was big vamping. No, sorry, appreciate that. Sorry,
We're just having fun. We're just having fun. Sorry.
I was going on a diatribe, so I apologize.
That's okay.
But what I was trying to do was like weave this together. Debatable job as always, but there just seems to be this denial. Actually, no. My main point is Mitch McConnell's a fucking asshole, piece of shit, and I just don't like him. And he's been in kind of a way of like, yeah, Donald Trump is terrible, but I can still make really good arguments for George W. Bush being a worse president. Donald Trump is terrible, but I can still make a really good argument for Mitch McConnell being the Republican that maybe single-handedly destroyed a lot of what this country is.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell is, you know what? Mitch McConnell is going to be such a great. If I'm running in for a seat, if I'm a progressive candidate, I'm thinking this is going to be keep using it up, keep having your fun, working hard remotely, not showing up publicly when people address you. He is going to set the standard for legislation that you can pass. That's going to be like, if this kind of shit happens on any degree, you're out. Like this is a great vehicle to set up legislation to like really administer some of the issues and some of the broken policies that allow this guy to be just fucking kicking it, working remote. You know, he's all the memes. He's like waking up at 11 a.m. in his underwear, logging into to Zoom meetings or team meetings that no one knows about. He's having a great time. And then other people are having to pick up the slack. And even the Lindsey Graham shit with his sister stepping in is crazy. So it's like, there's like a lot of stuff that the Republican Party is doing that it's like, please use this as ammunition for legislation you want to write in the future, because everybody looks at this unilaterally, even bipartisan. And it's like, what? Because there's going to be even Republican people that are going to be like, nah, I want to be there, not this old fuck. Like, I want to be sitting there scheming. At least I'll be on camera scheming. This guy's not even showing up. So yeah, he's a horrible person. I don't want to say, I don't feel anything when I see him, and I don't feel anything when I don't see him. That is my stance on Mitch McConnell. I feel nothing inside regardless. They'll probably still reelect him.
They will definitely reelect the corpse.
They're gonna have him in like the little fucking fish tank head, like on Futurama. That's gonna be Mitch McConnell's head in there, and they're gonna be like, he still votes. He still goes on my issues. I hate those 2 trans athletes in South Dakota. I'm gonna vote that guy in. I'm gonna vote him in.
Yeah. I got nothing else to say about Mitch McConnell. Let me see. I don't really think I have much more to say about any of these Republicans. You know, I mean, I don't even want to talk about the RFK Jr. interview that he did on State of the Union or something like that. He was on CNN. He was on CNN maybe last night or this morning, and it was this whole thing where he's refusing to take any sort of responsibility for the measles outbreak that the the so-called like diarrhea lettuce outbreak that is happening right now.
He better take responsibility for me blowing fire MOBA sized bombs out of my ass. He better take responsibility for that because I got rocked, sir. So RFK Jr., you better fucking take responsibility for that, man. I almost blew a hole in the back of my toilet seat, man.
That I didn't wait. So that legitimately happened to you?
Yes, dog.
Yeah. Dude, I actually had
because I'm trying to be healthier and lose weight. Fuck you, RFK. I'm going back to Chick-fil-A. Fuck this.
I was kind of thinking that shit because I mean, I don't do iceberg lettuce that much anyways because I have taste. But like and that's no offense to what anything.
Oh, this is funny to you, Dan? This is funny?
No, it's not.
This is worse than COVID.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that because RFK Jr.'s response was to deny everything about measles and that diarrhea. It begins with a C, but I'm not smart enough to pronounce it properly. He denied all that and then instead shifted the conversation to claiming that Anthony Fauci lied about COVID and talking about how alternative medicines to the COVID vaccine should have gotten more attention. And so that's why RFK Jr. is doing things his way and he's not going to listen to anyone else saying, oh, what about this outbreak? What about that outbreak?
Yeah, RFK, that's true. But what about my
drink
asshole?
Some beef tallow.
What about my asshole, RFK Jr.? You fucking magma came out of that shit, man.
Don't ask RFK Jr. about your asshole if you don't expect him to come into it. I'm just being fucking honest. This man eats roadkill off the road. He eats. Wasn't there some like beaver penis thing? Like,
yeah, I think he was flipping raccoon balls or something. I forgot what he did. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, I'm so.
Now you know what? Fuck it. I'll say I miss Fauci.
There, finally someone said it.
My behind was doing better. I'll say it. I was eating nothing but garbage during COVID. That never happened to me. I'll tell you that much. Some crazy shit happened, but that never happened to me. That was crazy. My 1960s Long Beach bathroom was not built for that kind of operation I was running in there, okay? I'm Amazonian, man. I'm built like a fucking tree. I can't be doing that, man. I can't afford it. Sorry, Dan. I've been through a lot. Let's continue the show. That was tough time.
No.
They thought that shit was silly. It was real.
I appreciate I won't call it self-righteousness because the time has come for Americans to realize that we're going to be voting soon. And we all have to ask ourselves the question, is your ass better off now than it was 4 years ago?
Hey, Americans, protect your, can I say this word on here? I don't know. Never mind. Americans, think about your bussy for once. Please. Holy shit. Let me canvas.
Clean your asshole, America.
Michigan voters, are you thinking about your fucking asshole right now? We'll start.
I actually think the best thing Mamdani's done for New York is normalize the fact that we should all own bidets.
Yeah. You know what? Fuck it, dude. If RFK Jr. is gonna stay, I want state issued bidets for my pain, dog. I want state issued bidets.
They called it Obamacare. I want to call it Fauci butt.
Yeah, Fauci butt. I want the bidets war power resolution. That's what I want. Have Ludwig send him. I don't fucking know anybody. Give me a fucking bidet. I went through hell.
I'm like, war powers resolution is what we call Caesar's plunger.
Yes. Yeah. They were like Caesar. They voted against that. Well, what do you mean, bro? What? Sorry. Let's get back to the show. Sorry. I went through a lot, guys. Dan's happy about doing these shows once a month. My body was going through turmoil. Let's continue.
I'm laughing just because the nature of we're in our 30s and we're making poop jokes on the internet. That's just kind of fun.
I saw this coming. It's okay. I saw this.
I love that.
I didn't expect more out of myself.
I thought you expected that much out of yourself. That's what was the whole story. Never mind. I'm not good at jokes. I'm not funny. This has kind of been the whole point of this premise. I think Bam said that like I am funny like 3 times a year, but it'll be very funny. And that's like that's similarly how.
That's a compliment. That's a compliment.
No, that's how I feel about my mom. Like, she's not that funny of a person, but every once or twice a year she says something that's like so fucking out of pocket hilarious, that's out of character for her. I'm like, that's worth it. That's great.
I'm not gonna do mom slander here. Nice try, buddy. Nice try. Mom's is not gonna get flamed on the show, okay? Not after I spent 30 minutes screaming about my asshole. I'm not gonna do that. You're not gonna get me there.
I just said my mom's funny. Okay. You want to get mad, or you want to get mad?
I'm Brazilian. I can go either way.
Fair. Let's talk about. So mad is what the left is talking about, and mad is what the left isn't talking about. And I think mad will not work until we address mad. So while we were gone, basically in between the time we had our last episode and now, the Platner unraveling occurred. That, and I think it's, I'm trying to work on a piece, and when I say that usually guarantees it's never going to be done. But like, I've been collecting videos because I feel like so many other people are saying at once how I have felt about this and other left so white topics over the entire duration of Power Report, and even before that, my career at TYT. And so rather than try to like make a super script, I'm kind of like taking a lot of people's work and like bouncing my thoughts around that. But that's to say, there is a beginning of Platner. While I'm not going to go through every single thing that happened, I think it could be summarized by, there's a guy running to unseat Susan Collins in Maine. There's a couple people actually, because I think there was some other people in the race. The Maine Senate seat, even though it on paper ranks low on Caesar's, matrix for how much I should care about a political race, and mine too, to be fair.
I love that state so much. What do you mean? I love them.
I love Maine. A girl I dated for like 2 weeks was from Maine. But so I can say whatever I want to about Maine.
I love Maine.
But that is, Suzanne Collins is seen as one of the more vulnerable senators, and so there was, I think that's my best case, good faith saying we're like, okay, this is why we're paying attention to this. Platner comes along, says a lot of the right things, has a lot of scandals early on. One that we talked about late last year and early this year on this show a lot, were the Totenkopf tattoo that he had, his time in Iraq and Afghanistan and with private military defense contractors, his Reddit posts, and I think the impasse that I had and why I like really wanted to stop talking about it was, I have crashed out a lot about politics, about left politics on camera over the past couple years, and I am just at a phase where I just don't want to do that much anymore. And so if I talk about it less, that lessens the possibility. The TYT crash out was a lot that very deeply emotionally affected people that I care about. And even though it was fun to affect the emotions of people I don't care about, that just didn't sit right well with me. And that's kind of like the combination reason. And secondly, kind of related to that, a lot of the top people who were boosting Platner and doing this apologia for him are people who I consider to be friends. And I have a lot of vitriol inside of me, but I also have that friend bias. And so now I'm in this interesting point as someone who was a pseudo presenter to say, like, I have this line of things I just can't say, rightfully or wrongfully, about people who I think of as my friends. And that does affect how I cover these things. So I'm like, it is great if I just don't talk about Platner at all. More scandals come out. We get more of this back and forth of like, people criticizing this group on the left. There's Majority Report, there's Kyle Kulinski, there's Ryan Grimm, there's a bunch of folks. San I would include in this, less so, but still to some extent, who anytime there would be some critique of Platner, especially critiques that came from inside of the house, inside of the left house, so to speak, these would be very quickly brushed away as, oh, you don't believe in forgiveness, or you're against people who are in the military and you don't believe for redemption or caring about veterans, or you're doing identity politics, or you're a shit lib, like all of this stuff that you don't do to people who are in coalition with you trying to build a movement or have some sort of thing together. I found to be just sort of like rude, disrespectful, uninformed, egotistical, and just unbecoming of all the folks involved who up to this point had built largely respectful careers for themselves. And even then, I feel kind of tough saying that because some of these people are friends and I really like these people. But I think that all culminates in, what was it, late June, early July? I forget. I was enjoying my life too much, so I forget exactly when it happened. But the first set of sexual assault allegations at the tower, then the second set of allegations at the tower, and then the third set. And then it starts to get to this point where even these, some of these, I'll put it like this, these left figures begrudgingly started to say, okay, well, I guess Graham Platner's got to go, but we weren't wrong about these fundamental things, and we weren't wrong to like look at this candidate. And actually, this makes it so that we should trust in DSA more, and we should trust in these very opaque, pseudo-democratic institutions in order to vet candidates, because that will do a better job than lefty media pundits who get in their emotions about certain candidates and things more than they should when it comes to like the responsibility of being a presenter and presenting things in a somewhat even-handed way. And even on the left, truly allowing your audience to make up their mind based on the information you're presenting. So I have a lot of thoughts about this. I do have had a lot of thoughts about this. But I think that was the premise ultimately, ceez, before I go to you. It's just like Black people, people of color, brown people, especially people who are from, you know, Central Asia and the Middle East, women, non-binary folks, had a feeling about Graham Platner, the same feeling we have that's like a survival instinct to not trust sketchy straight white dudes. And that was ignored by the largely white left until it was too late. And I think that's where the frustration comes, was the borderline gaslighting trip that went from when he started to when the first scandals dropped all the way to this. And even like Aaron had alluded to, I have no better way to put it, the rape apologia that Ryan Grimm put out as though it was journalism in defense of Graham Platner. Also, Ryan Grimm, who didn't really disclose that much, that he and Graham Platner were coworkers before they worked at like a bar together, like a restaurant together, or, you know, they had known each other in some way like that before all of this. Like, it's very weird, like, that you don't, as a journalist, express this, hey, I know this person from this past, like, take or leave my reporting how it is, but I should be upfront with that. It was just an embarrassment all around. Last thing I'll say that was embarrassing, I believe Kyle Kulinski said that he didn't care if Graham Platner sexted his mom. And then the really rapey text messages that Graham Platner sent that only added context to the really rapey things that he had posted online beforehand came out. And again, ceez, thank God I'm a better person now, because I almost re-downloaded Twitter and I almost said something to Kyle Kulinski I would have regretted. So yeah,
you know what, Dan, I actually agree with you. Shocker. On what you said about, in terms of like how a lot of minorities felt, especially knowing about his background. You know, my perspective is always different, where I give people the opportunity to not gain my trust immediately, but I give you the space to create and build something, and I will give you the space to enact it. I obviously, I don't, in my personal life, I would never look past someone having 2019 Reddit posts talking absolutely buck wild crazy on people. I would never be like, that's all good, that's my dog. I wouldn't do that. But there needs to be an understanding on the left. Quit quit making these figures you're seeing coming up for political positions. Stop developing a personal emotional attachment to their growth. They are not your friends. They are not your buddy. They are not nobody. Even Mom Donnie. It's fun to have a endearing feeling of hope that ties into your emotions to it. Do not do that, because these are individuals. People are individual. I'm not trying to tie anything here, but I'm saying, like, with Grant Patler, this is an individual. This is somebody you don't know him. I don't fucking know him, but I'm not in Maine, but as if I was somebody in Maine, I would be giving him a space to show me something. But once the process of show me something, red flags pull up, we need to get back we need to put our girl boss hats on. We need to do like the girlies and be like, that's a lot of red flags. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, why am I allowing these red flags to go through? We let it slide. Everyone was let it slide. I'm not going to harp on it too much because the dust has settled. I appreciate people like Emma and Rokana. Their apologies were true and earnest. I appreciate that apology. I appreciate the understanding. Not even that it was for me, but I understand. I appreciate them going to a public space and doing that. Now the lesson needs to build, especially with a lot of people in the white on the left. The lesson needs to be, did you learn from your lesson, or are you apologizing for a mistake? There's two courses of action after something happens. Learn from your lesson, and you can apologize for a mistake, but do you learn from your lesson after? Kyle was like my favorite morning coffee of explosive unk screaming YouTube videos on politics. It was very fun. Even though I only agreed with 60% of the things, it was fun to just watch this man go buck wild on conservatives. But if we're going to talk about being on the left, that involves inclusion. That involves listening to people of different minority backgrounds, different socioeconomic statuses. That includes hearing everybody. In your pursuit of victory and endorsement, you cannot silence people to the side just because that person either doesn't have the same view as you, or that person is on this trailblazing path and you can't let all this stuff get in the way. I was really disgusted in the beginning with just the tech stuff of him labeling this, going full tinfoil hat mode and being like, this was done by an operative on the conservative party that releases messages. I don't give a fuck, dog. I don't give a fuck. If we here on the left, we're not going to move like the right. If something is a buzz, we need to look into it and do our proper research and adhere to it and squash it if it's fake, okay? But we're not going to sit here off of you not knowing anything. He doesn't know anything about these people. He's sitting in his crib, in his car, doing sweaty videos. And the worst part is that the final video was like a 1% apology and then like a 99% like, oh, you Republicans can't say shit because y'all always do this. Okay, but they can do that. But I don't see them on the same level as me. I'm not holding you to that level, Kyle. I wasn't holding you to the level they were at. But if you want to feel like you're at that level, like, that's fine. But I hold you higher than that. So don't stoop yourself down to these fucking losers and start disregarding women's accusations based upon their fucking political party. What does it have to do with shit? I don't care. I don't care if it was a Democrat or Republican or anything. It doesn't matter. It's about he committed what his crime that he did or allegedly did or admitted to doing. I don't know what the hell the YouTube context for this is. It wasn't based on who the person was politically. It was a woman who was literally defenseless in the situation. And that's who we need to step up for every time. So that shit was disgusting.
There was a case of there's a New York Times article that listed a bunch of cases of women who had been exes of Grant Platner essentially, and had a variety of things to say in that original New York Times article, from like, good, whatever, we dated, that happened, I moved on, to, he would say some weird things and stuff like that. And some of those comments, the more negative comments, that was immediately written off by Crystal Ball, Kyle Kulinski, Emma Vigeland, all this like sort of group of folks to say that, oh, well, this person used to work for the Heritage Foundation, so therefore any sort of like allegation they make against a leftist guy running is like invalid. To me, it's sort of like, I'm not even going to get into the analogy because I hate it. But the thing I really got on here, like the thing that you really said, you said so much there, and I really want you to keep cooking, is Kyle, Emma, look at me when I'm talking to you. Look at us when we're talking to you. Because in all their apologies, it was, well, yeah, but Neera Tanden said, oh, yeah, but, all these liberals are, celebrating how toxic, Graham Platner is and all this stuff. And they have framed it because they are fucking Twitter brained and they won't leave that site. These are leftists who are perfectly happy making Elon Musk even pennies on the dollar, the richest trillionaire white supremacist on earth in history. These are white leftists who are willing to make him money because they love their Twitter follower counts. They love the even limited reach that they perceive to have. And it scratches some sort of like itch inside of them for popularity that they need. And so they just won't leave the platform. And they'll go like, oh, well, Blue Sky is full of liberals and Threads is dead. And like Threads is truly dead. And Blue Sky is dead and full of liberals. But like, I don't use these platforms that much anymore. To the extent that I do open Blue Sky, I tend to have a better time. And I also don't end up doom scrolling on Blue Sky. I go in, I see some funny stuff, I go out. I go in, I find the funny stuff, I go out. But the whole point is, they kept making this apology and then going, but look at what Neera Tanden's saying about the left. And look at what so-and-so are saying about like, the Bernie bros and DSA. And it's like, yeah, but I'm not that. Y'all know fucking well anyone on the left with these critiques is not like that. Maybe y'all are too used to arguing on Twitter with faceless egg handles and like AI bots and shit. But too many times over this process, I saw them either directly talking down to people who are on the left who are not centrist lib types, or I saw them misconstruing those complaints and those criticisms of Graham Platner that were only true, and then taking them to say, oh, but that's coming from the shitlibs. And so we don't need to pay attention to those criticisms. So even in their apologies, I have not seen and again, my bias shows, I think Emma's probably means it the most, but even from her, I haven't seen this full sort of like acknowledgement and acceptance outside of any of her own safe spaces, that she was talking down to people on her side. And that has broken a trust that for some people, they may never get it back. For some people, they're going to need to, like, she's going to have to earn it back. For me, I just have to more and more separate the people I know as friends and people versus their politics. It's beginning to become like, I have a lot of friends where I just don't talk about politics with them and they don't talk about politics with me. Not because our politics are like that different, but just because like I don't feel like having the conversation and I just want to go have a beer, or like watch the game or do whatever fun thing. Some of these people are getting a little bit more like that, where I just have to like, even though I know where we are politically, I don't want to talk to you because we're increasingly in separate planes here. But yeah, there's a lot I have to say but I agree with everything you said. Like keep going. Like it's just yeah.
It's first of all, Bam being fully being redeemed on the Ryan Grimm take last year, whatever. It just man, that shit is aging like wine. That shit is aging like wine. Oh my god!
Once again,
he's the original,
Bam is undefeated.
He's the original Bitcoin investor. Holy shit! Oh my god! What in the fuck? He's like, nah. Everybody was like, bro, you're tripping. Bro, you're tripping. He's solid. It's like, what? Uh-oh.
Like I had said that from like, I can name many times actually, where he has both uplifted and literally thrown hands for marginalized people. I know people who he's gotten jobs for. I know there's that famous White House Correspondents' Dinner thing where Ryan Grimm was about to punch out that Fox host Jesse Waters.
Oh, yeah, that's the OG.
Because Jesse Waters was being weird around, I want to say Amanda Turkle, but I know it's like an Asian woman who's like a journalist, and she's like a very prominent, powerful journalist now, but back then she wasn't. And Ryan Grimm's like, you want to box up? Let's go. Square up, bitch. And based off the video I saw, Jesse Waters did not want that smoke. So that's why I was like, and I think, not to go into a long point, but this is another thing you said here about like, look, outside of this left media space thing, and especially as me, not a main voter, I was willing to, up to a point, just go like, hey, not my guy, but if that's what Maine wants, we could probably do worse than having him in Senate. And there are people in the Senate who have done the same / worse already.
Yeah.
And, I think that's a longer thing. I don't think that should be our standard, but it's out of my control.
I mean, essentially, if that's what the people wanted, like, if that's what an idea of a progressive person in Maine is, great. And if that's, and based on the policies, the pro workforce stuff, his agenda, fine, it was great. But it's like, there was those red flags about him as a person and his personal stuff that, just from even on this show, these people are not, it's not like this is possible for them to flip flop. We don't know where they stand. We saw Fetterman. I mean, it became a 180 of a central. Like it's such a 180 that we're like, would Oz be better? That's how crazy the 180 is. But so it's like, we have to be conscious of the warning signs. We have to be conscious of this.
And we were looking throughout the entire time, and the whole "what if he's a Fetterman" thing was blown off in a lot of ways. And I can see why in some ways. I can't see why in other ways, especially now. But especially for a politician, again, fuck Fetterman, fuck the left, fuck all these other lenses we're using. Politician runs for office. Yeah. You check their past records, you check their past statements, you check their current records, and you check their current statements. And you back check both of those. Because if you start to see misconnections, like, oh, well, you said this one time and you said this another time, what do you mean by that? And if they can't give a good answer, or if they're flip-flopping, then again, even the topic you're asking about matters less than the fact that they had that, gut reaction to flip-flop and lie. Because it's less about, the policies come and go, especially in politics in America. But if you are already showing on the campaign trail that you are going to lie and flip just the same as all these establishment liberal Democrats that we criticize, and just the same as MAGA, then yeah, we're gonna clock that. We're gonna read that, and that's gonna go into your profile.
I just didn't like the gaslighting that they tell, they did the gaslighting of like, we should have properly done more of a vetting process. That was the gaslight for me, because it's like, I'm not trying to be a Hassan apologist. I'm not doing that, but I think it's really funny that every single any kind of Democratic or left side, we always have to address in some capacity his, America deserve 9/11 comment. They're so easy to vet that and bring it up every time about somebody that, they feel a way about. But it was so easy to put past insane 2019 Reddit posts. That was just something we missed. You can pull up Clem Chip moments all the time, but that is something we're bringing up all the time. That's something we're just looking past. That's something that you didn't look into.
Rather historically, I am the first person to react from the left to the America Deserve 9/11 quote, because I was Hassan's producer when he said that.
So it's just like, it's that's the part that makes me uncomfortable. And I do agree with you on, especially it's like, is the vetting process different depending on who you are, your race, your background, your ethnicity? Is that how the vetting process works? If I go into a prominent political position, are we going to pull up my Twitch clips of me saying out of pocket stuff based upon that? Or are we going to look past it because we're truly into letting someone build up who they want to be, ignoring who they were in the past and taking you for who you are now? Are we really doing that? Or are we doing that in a selective process depending on your race or your background or your gender? That's what the prominent members of the left are white. They are. That's the top. They're the top of the big dogs.
And upper middle class.
White passing, whatever the fuck you want to call some people. But
and upper middle class. That's an important thing too.
So if they're gonna be there and they're gonna be prominent voices in the space and not, we're not gonna be there, then it's like, start doing your fucking job or shit's gonna start changing, homie. Start doing your job.
Shit's already changing. I mean, like this goes into the other thing where, yeah, you said the other piece, or one of the other pieces of gaslighting was, oh, we should have done more vetting. Oh, this puts our we need to trust in DSA more because of the vetting. Power Report season 0. This was still called the Syndicate 23 Political Report. We were in the depths of COVID, ain't shit else to do. In between doing streams and making the bad news video, like the mini doc I made, I was trying to organize with DSA LA. And back then, they basically implied, I mean, I'm going to choose my words carefully here because I don't want to do this wrong, but because me and a coalition of folks, and also in the background is the Black Lives Matter stuff like that. And so what is that, ceez?
It's my camouflage. It's the same color as my. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. DSA. I don't know what he's about to say, dog. It's all good. I don't know what he's saying.
No,
He's in Long Beach. I don't know what he's about to say.
No, this has. This was DSA, and this was in the context of. I'm not gonna say anything crazy, but like this is in the context of Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and all of the different things happening. And it was me and some Black people I knew from Long Beach. Like I'd gone to school with them. We'd been in political activist spaces since then. I was talking to people from Torrance, Crenshaw, South Bay, South Central, basically south of the 10. Basically outside of where transplants typically move to, but is still considered part of the LA area. Yeah. And I'll say at least in 2020, organizing within DSA and the treatment that Black people who are trying to do it was so bad that a group of 30 or 40 of us just broke off and started doing our own shit. And I don't keep up with them as much. And that's completely my fault because I had fallen out of this particular group we were at. But my experiences in DSA, and I've had decent meeting experience with DSA, but a lot of folks in DSA are upper middle class white former liberals who took a couple of sociology classes, made a Black friend, dyed their hair, maybe discovered their queerness or whatever way, and they've come out of it going, I've read the books, I've dated the people, I'm woke now, whatever that means. And now I'm going to fight and speak as though I know all these people's, situations and issues and things like that. Basically, there's a lot of opinions I have about DSA, and it's worth mentioning that like there's state level DSAs, there's local level DSAs, there's national level DSAs, and every single DSA operates a little bit differently. Some are electoral, some are DSAs in red states where electoral is not a thing they're thinking about, but they're actually some of the people who are pushing the ideas of what democratic socialism is in a Leninist perspective or a Marxist perspective or in many other, descriptions of the online left that people fight over all the time. I say all that to say what DSA is coming or becoming at best is a really useful tool to get progressive candidates elected, like a good ecosystem, kind of like the Democratic National Committee, to get candidates elected, to boost them, to defend them, and to fundraise for them. But it's also going to be the DNC. It's going to be gatekept. There are going to be people who are making rules that the Democrats call themselves the Democratic Party. Ain't nothing democratic about the Democratic Party. They call themselves the Democratic Socialists of America. They have votes on procedures and who they're going to endorse and different things like that. But I've seen the DSA conferences. I've seen the ones that they have, where they unite all the chapters and stuff like that. I don't want any business with that. I don't want any business with y'all. And I don't think the same group of white leftists, their political activism is podcasting. When Kyle and Crystal are done with their shows, they have kids and families and pets and each other. They're not going out into Virginia and doing local activism work. Maybe a speaking engagement here or there, but they're not actually in the trenches. I'm not in the trenches, but I have been to my New York Congresswoman's office. I moved here about a year ago, and I've been there on average once a month. I now know what it's like to work with my congressperson. I know where they're progressive. I know where they're not. And that's the real political work that I would encourage people who watch these shows to actually start doing and watch less of these shows. Because then you'll actually understand what the Democratic Party is like. You understand what DSA is like. You understand what the problems are there, and you won't do the thing that ceez greatly critiqued a little bit earlier, which is automatically turning political figures into heroes. I said this about Elizabeth Warren. I said this about Bernie Sanders. I said this about Barack Obama. I've said this about every single politician, no matter how much I like them or how much I dislike them. Politicians don't deserve shit. You don't deserve shit from me. We're hiring you. We're putting our trust in you. And the moment you fuck up, you should be gone. We've allowed this political system to exist for way too long to where you can just live on incumbency. And as long as you get elected twice or 3 times for your seat, you're basically have it for life. And you can just coast and make your money and do whatever you want to. No. We can't do that. And maybe it was naive to think of the online left space that exists right now to actually push past that. But it looks like our limits are just recreating and replicating systems of oppression. And as people of color, as queer folks, as people who have been under these systems of oppression for so long that sort of idea is disgusting. What can I say? We've been here before. Our ancestors have been here before. Martin Luther King Jr., the biggest enemy of white liberal. We've been here. We will continue operating on the outsides. We'll work with DSA when it makes sense. But, I don't see them as this panacea. I don't see them as this perfect thing. And I'm already seeing, as a result of the Grand Platner stuff, everyone's going, well, actually, this means that we need to put more faith in the DSA because they have a vetting process. I'm not putting my faith into more white liberals. I'm not putting my faith in the more, white upper middle class liberals. And I want to be clear here because there's an audience of white people who watch this show. When I say this, if you're a white person and these behaviors, you can point to them and go, oh, that's what they did. And that's what was wrong, which is pretty much everyone in this chat. Then you're not being talked about. When women say, I hate men, if you're a good man, you're a good man, you're not being talked about. That's the same thing. And so I just want to be clear and be respectful for that so it doesn't seem any type of way. But I just don't, I'm not going to trust the people who said, tuck your tail, bend over, and vote for Grand Platner with anything fucking else. When it comes to picking a political candidate, honestly. That's just a firm statement. And like I said, and like I've alluded to, FD signifier, Shonda Black, Jesse Gender, Olayemi Allura. I can name so many non-white, non-straight or cis leftists who called this from a mile away. And now that this has happened, the apologies have not been good enough for us. What you're going to do to repair and the reparative, the restorative justice is not happening. And so FD's I'm not making political videos anymore. Sean's I'm not participating with y'all anymore. This is the real Blexit that's happening. And it's not just black people. It's people from all over. Just we're not, left the box. Thanks for reminding me. Lance, who's white passing, but indigenous Canadian, called it as well. The divestment, the Blexit is happening because the DSA left is sniffing their own farts a little bit too much. And people who have been burned by society and systems and the Democratic Party and socialists, we're just not going to have it anymore. And another thing, no, ceez, go ahead.
No, you're good. I mean, I don't have any official affiliation with DSA Long Beach. I'm in the Discord. I've talked to a lot of people there. I have no official.
To be clear, this is before DSA Long Beach existed. There was
they're
DSA.
They're fairly new. They're not that old.
Yeah. So I'm nothing to say about
Yeah. So and like Dan said, every chapter is different. Every chapter is different because, especially when you're talking about cities, because the city chapters are a culmination of the community, right? And every single community in America is different. So they have different operating capacities and what they speak about and members. I'm not going to generalize my experience with people, but I think that there is 2 facets of it. One facet is, you're right, obviously about a lot of things, especially when it comes to how people feel disillusioned, depending on different backgrounds. When, you're somebody that's a minority and you're coming into a space kind of looking for people. I'm not saying you come in looking for people that all look exactly like you, but you kind of have that in your heart where you're like, cool, I'm going to come into this space with more progressive people. And hopefully there's going to be a lot of progressive people that, you know, almost have the same identity as myself. You know, you kind of have that happiness and expectation because usually you grow up in these communities and you might feel differently than, you know, the friends you grew up with. You know, you don't, but you come into these spaces and it's a lot of really well-intentioned white people. They have great intentions. You know, that they're not in there to cause harm or friction. Their intention of entering this space is to cause good, right? They don't enter DSA to be like, I got to make shit worse. Like, obviously they're going to come in and be like, I want to make sure it's a good space for everybody. But I think a lot of times we enter into spaces to have good intentions on helping people and being an ally for them. But we spend more time making decisions and doing things based on what we believe or think is good for them by proxy of not listening and learning from their experiences. We don't listen to their culture, listen to their background, listen to their journey, and become one with understanding like, oh, that's how they got here. When this is going on, I want to listen to them to understand their perspective on where I need to vote or move in that factor. If they're having a hard time jumping on this Grand Platner raft, I want to know why. What's up? Like, what is this? What is the reason? There's never the
Especially
why.
because
It's
you're in coalition.
It's what the hell? Come on, man. This guy's gonna help you. Get with it. It's like, whoa, bro. Like, can I fucking? You want me to just look all past all this? Can I look into it a little bit? I mean, can this man prove it to me? Can we listen? Can we learn more? Can we vet more? No.
The reason why, you know, a lot of us, guilty as charged, we won't pay as much attention to local politics as much as we should. And then the night before election, we got to pull up a DSA voter guide or some other local voter guide and then, you know, fill it out based on that for anything we aren't sure about, is because you want to trust. And I know even DSA at their worst, they do. If there's anything DSA does, it's argue over shit. So like I don't think they're just rubber stamping these things, at least at this point, at least on state levels, on the major state level DSAs. But you want to trust that they are, okay, you're in community together. But I think what a great thing you got at ceez, and it was one of the better points that I've gotten from both being an activist in these spaces and being in political media, is that congratulations, you're in the door. You feel some type of way about systemic injustice. You see the solutions for it. You can advocate for those things. Awesome. Welcome aboard. You're among like-minded people. But are you a good collaborator? Are you a good accomplice? Are you able to listen? Are you able to remove your ego from things sometimes, even when it's hard? Are you able to like figure out what's a productive argument versus what isn't? Are you able to, you know, take criticism from multiple different places and be able to discern what criticism is bullshit and what criticism is justified based on what they're saying and who it's coming from? It's one thing to have the politics, it's another thing to have the discipline. And listen, I'm not saying that I am the pinnacle of discipline here, but I think what beyond race and class and gender, and it's hard to say beyond those things, what separates me from a lot of the folks in the leftist media space right now, I'll name by names. Just the ones I'm thinking about, like Hassan, Emma, Kyle, Crystal, Ryan Grimm, and I can name a few others too. They have mostly done political media all of their lives. And before I really went 2 feet into political media, I was 2 feet into political activism. And I was organizing. I was in meetings in high school and in college at 8 p.m. I would spend literally all of my weekends. There was one weekend where I spent legitimately a straight 46 hours just trying to pick student council candidates who were running for student government, right? And I've had these tough conversations, and it's like, okay, how do you balance what individual communities need with the realities of winning, the realities of the race or whatever? And how do you do that while also making people in your community and in your coalition feel heard and not ignored? And how do you keep that coalition together? I wasn't always great at that, and I had to be corrected at that a lot. But the fact that I went through that process means that the discipline really matters to me when it comes to the content creation game or the political awareness game, whether I'm talking on a screen or whether I'm door knocking or canvassing, whether I'm organizing my building into a tenants union, which low-key your boy did on his first year living in New York. How you like me now? Your move, Kyle Kalinske. Organize your dog. Organize your Ford Escape, my guy. All right? But like, there's a difference between that and yeah, just coming in going, I believe in Medicare for all. I believe in ending the genocide. I believe in buzzword. You know who's really good at rehashing buzzwords? Jenk and Anna. They were really good at rehashing buzzwords and saying, we want to get money out of politics. We want Medicare for all. And these things, yes, they sound nice and yes, they sound good. But at a certain point, it starts to just become a checklist. And once it's a checklist, it's something that anyone can say. So that's why the discipline matters. And that discipline is a system of forgiveness. Yes, we're not all cancel culture on the left. We do believe in forgiveness. But that forgiveness has to come with a process. You have to show that you're working and trying to be better. Versus, yeah, someone else said it really well earlier too. Absolutely Citron, also great to hear from you, says, I feel like once white wealthy people get to the point Dan is describing, and I was describing earlier, was like, you read some books, you go to college, you know, bread and roses, etc., and then you enter an activist space and you're like, I've learned it all. Saying once white wealthy people get to the point Dan's describing, it's like white savior mode activated. And yes, honestly, yes. Like I have seen this in people who are my friends, who I like, but I just don't talk about politics with them anymore because it's the shit gets old for the place I'm at right now. I feel myself actively getting more and more radically to the left than even my media contemporaries or my former media contemporaries, right? And like the fact that they're kind of staying in the same and kind of taking on their old liberal right-wing sort of tendencies and I'm moving further left just means that you're a coworker friend now and we can talk about sports and the latest Taylor Swift album, and other than that I got nothing for you.
Yeah, and just another the quote that stands on time is Future said, the fame is a monster, man. The fame is a monster. It even people with the best and most well-intentioned views and standpoints, that clout will do something different to you. That money can do something different to you, and it'll blur lines you would have never thought imaginable. Even if it's something you don't see, that doesn't mean it's not already happening. So it's a shame that it seems to happen. And the reason we have to identify it as like white people, because me personally, I don't like doing, I know obviously, and I come from all this and I know where I'm at, especially in America, but like, I don't like to do the, white people evil thing all the time and at all.
You date white girls, ceez, we get it.
Hey, no, but like, some people like different, the seasons changing, like the winter. I know it's not like that at all, but I just don't like to play like a white person equals devil or whatever that crap that people do. I just think that when you have a lot of people at the top of popularity on the leftist space and they're all white, there's going to be accountability that has to be had, especially when the accountability is rooted in the mistakes you've made when it's minorities involved. It's the mistakes you're consistently making when it's something that you have done or endorsed, and de facto people in minority or in indigenous, all kind of different spaces have been affected by it. It's just, dog, look around the room, look at all y'all, and look what you've done. That's why we're mad. That's why we split off. That's why we won't fuck with you no more, because one time and time again, we're giving you that chance, and time again, you play us and make us a fool. And
it's like, even I
get tired of being like, nah, like they were tripping. It's like, Caesar, fuck that. They're not tripping anymore, man. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's exhausting. It's an exhausting game.
Yeah. And it's tough. You give your friends and people you generally like more chances than you would give anybody else. Yeah. But even friends got limits.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. And I'm sorry, but this is only going to get darker. But like I said, there was mad, and then there's mad.
Oh no.
The first thing was I was going to be mad about what the left is talking about, which is Graham Platner and Abdul Saeed. And again, my opinion on Abdul Saeed is that he ran train in that debate. the other day against I forget her name, honestly.
Stevens or something. Is that her name? Was that her name?
Haley Stevens. I don't care. It's Michigan.
I hear her talk. My ears bleed. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna try to be nice and not go.
Yeah, I'm giving Michigan 5 minutes. Go ahead, Dan.
I want that Michigan fist.
Michigan, you're on the clock 5 minutes. Caesar can only do 5 minutes, and then we can talk about the Great Lake displacement theory. Go ahead.
Literally, like I would rather spend time talking about the Missouri primaries because that's more interesting to me, and we can get our girl Cori Bush back.
Oh yeah, thank you. I'm
Cori
so happy
Bush.
to see her. I'm so happy to see her again. I'm like, finally, the goat of COVID that no one talked about, fighting for the rental freeze on people getting evicted. The fucking goat that was protesting on the steps outside. The goat.
Yes, because, and yeah, guess what? The black woman who died on the sword of AIPAC, by the way.
Yes.
AIPAC turned Cori Bush into an example, and Cori Bush said, "I'm coming for that ass."
Yeah. OG
said,
squad member that people literally forgot about. She's black. They, wonder if that's the reason.
She's a black.
But literally,
she's a black woman. She was
incredible woman. Incredible.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. She
deserves way more attention than she's getting. That shit pisses me off.
Yeah, it's like hey Hassan, go down to Missouri. Like,
he did, which is
okay.
good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, but
I mean, it's like it's Missouri. I'm like, sorry.
I totally get it. It's not a perfect one-to-one analogy thing.
No, I know. I just saw a clip recently that he went on like a podcast or something she made outside. It looked really cool. That's why I said that. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, you're like, I mean, it's like, my opinion about Abdullah Saeed and my opinion about Cori Bush is like borderline the same. It's that they are progressives who are running. I'm not going to use the directions left to right or whatever. They're running on a program. They're running on a mission. They're running a tight program, and it's a program that I can align with my politics. And if you are, listen, Abdul Saeed's getting a lot of love, and Michigan is a bluer state, and so there will be that love there. Someone said in the chat, I'm interested to see how black people vote there.
Yes, that is very interesting to see.
They brought out the Clyburn 7000 to try to tell him Abdul Sayed hates Obama and doesn't trust black people.
It's such a fun game to play where Donald Trump is calling him Barack Hussein Obama. And then in Michigan, it's like, he hates Obama. It's like, wait, but the conservatives are calling him Hussein, but now the Arab guy hates Hussein Obama. What? I
will say, like, I've been decolonizing a lot of my media consumption lately.
I haven't.
and like I'm
going
watching
full Falklands. Sorry.
I have been watching less political media overall, but like the political media I do watch is from queer folks, it's from non-binary folks, it's from people of color. And what was yes, Asted Herndon on Vox's, I think it's called America Actually. He's had 2 bangers. One, catching Emma in that slip up of I don't care if AOC or Bernie are secret Nazis. And like I've heard her make that analogy multiple times. Maybe don't. And I thought like
I care.
First of all, I do care. Second of all, this is one of those like okay comments. Like when I was having Hassan debate Cenk and that infamous thing that inevitably got us both fired, where we're talking about capitalism versus socialism, and Hassan describes capitalism as being like slavery, and I'm like, don't say that. Tap the brakes. I get where you're going with that, but
they're not going to like that.
This is where you start to lose. And again, it's the same thing. It's like, not only was that a bad analogy, but we're talking about Graham Platner, who literally had the secret Nazi allegations. So not good.
I mean, he literally had to yad it. I mean, it's hard to beat the tattoo allegations.
The second one that Asted Herndon was also a banger on, and he put Jim Clyburn on the George Foreman grill. Lean 5 minutes. No, all the oils fell out into that little cup right there. So all you just has that lean meat right on the grill. Jim Clyburn. I don't know if I can play the clip right now.
I just think of Michael Scott's foot when you say George Foreman. I think of Michael Scott's foot.
That's so funny.
You ruined George Foreman grills for me.
Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna play. Fuck, man. This is just such a banger. I'm gonna play this. This is via Ested Herndon from America Actually on Vox VOX. But this is just phenomenal shit here.
Change. I want to ask you about AI. There's so much that it's changing in terms of work and our economy. Do you use AI? Have you ever used an LLM?
No, somebody was telling me I ought to, but I never have.
No ChatGPT, no Claude for you?
Believe it or not, I didn't know what that was until about a week ago.
Stop it.
GPT or whatever it is.
You vote on, you're an important person, man. Oh my God.
Ested's gonna hit on that.
I didn't know what that was until about a week ago.
Which one?
Chat GPT or whatever it is.
You didn't know till a week ago. Wow. I mean, I'm jealous. You've got yourself in a bubble.
That may sound strange to you. I don't know. I didn't know what that was.
Okay. Have you been to a data center or anything like that? No? Okay. I guess I'm wondering, like, with the speed of technological changes right now, with how much people are anxious about the ways AI and work might change because of it, how do you effectively legislate as a member who is distant from some of those technological shifts that are affecting folks' lives right now?
I have a great staff.
Oh,
I wish I could know everything.
oh,
I don't know everything.
it's a body. It's a live body.
The worst part is there's 30 seconds left. And Jim Clyburn makes it worse.
You know, I wish I could know everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know everything. And I don't spend my time trying to learn everything.
Mm-hmm.
What I spend my time doing is trying to surround myself with people who do know stuff. I know how to legislate. I know how to build relationships. And I hire people to bring knowledge into the game that I can put to practice.
That's your democratic leadership, everybody. That's your black democratic leadership, everybody.
Man,
So,
you know, that hurt. That was
we're in the
hurt to
trenches
listen.
out here, man. Like, you look to one side of the left, you see Jim Clyburn. You look at the other side of the left, you see Graham Platner defendants. We're in the trenches, dog.
James. Sorry, no disrespect you, sir. Mr. Clyburn, listen. I think
Maxine Waters is running again. Maxine Waters is running again. She's 87.
What pissed me off about that is, like, he was kind of getting mad. Like, he was kind of getting mad that he was expected to know about it. He's like, it's like, what do you mean? I don't got to know about that shit. Like, what? Great staff around me. So first of all, what do you do? Real question. What do you do? Second, why do we
Working
are
remotely.
we voting for your friends?
You're voting for his relationships.
Yeah, I'm voting because
you're voting for his ability to legislate.
Oh yeah,
as a senator who's not in power.
everybody that has voted for Jim Clyburn famously went, no man, like, obviously he doesn't know dog shit about AI, you know, but he literally doesn't know shit. He don't got to know shit. He doesn't know shit. He thinks Claude is his neighbor, but he knows how to build relationships, and he knows, Dan, how to legislate. So there, I vote for Jim Clyburn. That's what everybody said.
There's that quote that was going around where Mamdani was asked why he wasn't accepting the pay raise that was voted for all New York City legislators, like all that stuff. And Zoran was like, yeah, I knocked on a bunch of doors and no one said that their biggest issue was the mayor's imprisonment. Jim Clyburn's like, I hired some people to knock on doors for me because I'm not fucking touching your fucking broke ass screen door and knocking on that shit.
Yeah, imagine knocking at New York's door and they're like, yeah, the potholes suck, fucking all the rats and the violence and ice, but are they paying you enough, sir? Are they paying you enough? Y'all want a little more money?
Is that
deserve
same thing, like,
$328K. You deserve $328K. Come on.
Jim Clyburn's people walking around going, you know what? Can't afford food. Gas is $5 a gallon.
Jim, how's the pockets looking, Jim?
What I really want someone in there is to go out in Washington and make some friends. I want someone to organize ice cream socials, tea, like tea tastings. You know what? Let's do a game night. I want someone who just like has the best relation. You know what? Let's bring back the beer summit. Let's get a Democrat and a Republican, and Jim Clyburn can host. And
Beer
he's just
gardens.
so good.
Beer gardens.
Yes, and let's just.
Dan, I'm a single issue voter, and my single issue is I like my politicians to be good at building relationships.
Lord knows we're not good at building relationships.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah, but I have a great staff that can do it for us. Trust me.
And so, like, yeah, I have nothing more to say about the state of the Democratic Party and the DSA.
Yeah, I think
I think the DSA may be able to save the Democratic Party from themselves. The question is, will the Democratic Party sabotage themselves and the DSA?
Will they take down everything with them? Will they burn the shit down to the ground or what?
The answer is absolutely yes.
Absolutely yes.
I mean, the Jim Clyburns will. We just have to hope that
they're on a clock, Dan. The clock is not infinite, my friend. This is Jim Clyburn. That clock is that's not a long-term contract.
We skipped over this and we don't need to go into it. But again, Maxine Waters is running again. She's 87.
Don't attack Maxine. I can't be mean to her. I can't be mean
Auntie.
to her. I can't be mean to her. I can't. I'm Brazilian. I was raised to treat elders differently than you, Dan. You were giggling about Mitch. That's as far as I go. Okay.
For all the talk about Black leadership is important, we have congressmen and senators who were around for the civil rights movement. Yeah, and most of them other niggas died. So if you're not here to like make it so younger Black people can follow in your footsteps and do everything you couldn't or build upon the things that you did, drop dead. Maxine Waters, no. Maxine, retire nicely. Jim Clyburn, drop dead.
Okay, that's right. Don't talk about Maxine like that. That's that might be my grandma. I don't know.
Auntie Maxine will always have my.
She went up to the ICE facility. They didn't let her in. All right, she went up to the door. They didn't let her in, dog.
I was going for what Pinkerbell said when she might body slam Michael.
Yeah, she fucking DDT'd that motherfucker. Okay, so hey, don't talk about Maxine like that. Yeah, there's some issues, but she's great at building relationships. So fucking relax, okay?
And also, before I even knew that much, before I was even into politics, like when I was a kid,
Black women on the stream, Dan. Okay, that's what I do.
I've been hearing stuff that Maxine Waters has been doing for South Central LA my entire life, right? So like, this isn't about Maxine Waters. I said the premise was we're done talking about stuff the left is talking about that pisses us off. Now to talk about stuff the left isn't talking about that pisses us off more. And why does the left have so much time for senators from states most Americans can't even point to on a map? Why do we have so much time for fighting against all these different groups when I haven't seen Kyle Kalinske or Emma Vigeland or Sam Cedar or any of these bozos say a goddamn fucking word about Nolan Wells? I'm not laughing about this, honestly. Like, what is the point of having a left media in 2026 when none of y'all are talking about a missing Black teenager who, for all intents and purposes, was murdered by his group of white friends? Allegedly. We don't have all the answers. We just have all of the witnesses not talking to the media. The witnesses that are talking to the media are giving stories that contradict themselves, and some video recordings of the kids around Nolan acting very sketchy. How much about the story do you know, ceez? It's fine if you don't know that.
No, I do. I'm going to make this point as delicate as I can. I live in going off of Aaron's point, which I don't like to do when it comes to like, oh, chat, we're cooked. I know we're cooked when I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm getting more from motherfucking Nancy Grace than I ever got from anybody on the left on this. Nancy Grace went hard in the fucking paint. But with anybody on the left discussing this, it is a horrible story. That YouTube video she did, I was locked in now. Was I high? Yes. Did I watch the whole thing in one run? Absolutely. It's a horrific story. It's crazy that some of those friends of his are just doing straight interviews. What? Second and then last point, also, it's like, damn, do we really think that no offense to some of those people you mentioned, some of them, would they even have a good fucking take on it? Would they have a good take on it? They would probably piss me off more. They probably would. Some of them at least. Because
Aaron said the same thing.
God, it would fucking piss me. They have the consistent. I am shocked that has not been covered more. It's a very popular, widespreading story. Is it because it's like under like the quote unquote like legacy media umbrella? Is that why they're not really covering it? Because in the media spaces, it's big. It's huge over there, but it's not big. Leftists aren't really talking about it or this side. They're kind of, are they like back in body cam footage? Like, what are they doing? Like what?
I don't think there's any excuse here because like there are times like, sure, this is not the most political story ever. I mean, everything's political, and yes, it is.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the reason why.
It's not because none of the going back to Black Lives Matter in 2020, all these shows were covering that shit, and that was about as political as this. It's Black death and white silence.
Yeah,
there were similar cases, and I know these are different times, right? But this is kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, I have not needed to watch any news program. If you really just watch the Power Report that Bam Kumars and I did in like late March, early April, and then watch this Power Report, and this was the only way you had heard any news about Iran, you've been good.
Yeah.
So all these other shows that have spent 5-6 months on the will they, won't they about Iran or the ballroom or any other thing that involves Trump that teaches us nothing about the world or Trump or Republicans or whatever. And a lot of people don't know about the story. The only places I've heard this story are because I have decolonized my political media and I'm watching shows like The Jam, JAAM. Shout out to those guys out there in Chicago.
They do cool stuff. Yeah, they do cool stuff.
I've been watching Higher Learning with Van Lathan and Rachel Lindsay. They done a great job on this as well. But there's that one, I don't know too much about him, but it's Brandon Tatum. He goes by Officer Tatum.
Oh,
online.
yeah. He did the collaboration with Nancy Grace on the the video. They did a collab video on it.
Interesting. I gotta see that.
That's why it has like almost a crazy amount of views. It's like they did the the YouTube tag thing where you can like post it together.
Yeah.
That's how I came across as this guy I never heard of, and then it came in my algorithm or something.
Yeah, Officer Tatum's a Black conservative who is Ben Crump, as he is wont to do, is on this case. And the fact that Brandon Tatum had this kid who was at the scene of what appears more and more to be a crime on here, distorting the story, casting aspersions on like Nolan Wells's character and kind of like alluding to the idea that his death was his fault. Because the context for folks who don't know, and also Bad Lefty said, to be fair, Jen Walsh from the I've Had It podcast has done a story on this. Yeah, I just don't. There are some figures outside of this bubble that I've been talking about, like the Ryans, Kyles, etc. Like Matt Bernstein's one of these. I'd say Jen Welsh is one of these. Where like they're kind of newer to the political space. They are like, I say maybe less the I Had It team, but like more of like Matt Bernstein. They're more people of not trying to replicate cable news on the internet. They're just like doing the YouTuber content creation podcaster thing that makes sense. So yeah, these are just things. And I'm not sure if I may not be 100% sure. Thanks for fact checking me if like these shows haven't covered it, because also to be fair, I ain't watching these crackers that much anymore. But no, the Nolan Wells story, in a really quick summation thing. 4th of July, Mississippi, an island off the coast of Mississippi in the Gulf of Mexico. That's right, the Gulf of Mexico. And their kids having a 4th of July time. They're, from what I can understand, all teenagers, or mostly teenagers, 18. Mainly, they are not old enough to purchase alcohol on their own. But it's the 4th of July. It's summer. This is America. So I'm not surprised that people under 18 obtained alcohol. The story has changed so many times that it isn't relevant to describe which version of the story it is. All we know is that Nolan Wells's body washed up on shore, like, whatever. He was dead and unresponsive. Some of his friends allegedly say that he disappeared going off with some woman off to an island on a boat. Maybe the boat sank or something. When the parents found out, they wanted to, collect his keys and stuff like that. And all of Nolan's supposed friends were being coy about where his phone was, where his keys were. The stories between what happened, they're all changing. The cops are saying nothing. And it harkens to, again, if you are someone who has roots in the South, or even a product of like how America's darkest history goes, even in, the woke post-Obama era, right? The idea of one black kid going with like 50 white kids on a trip to an island, and the black kid doesn't come back, and all the white kids are like, hey, what happened? And the police and the parents are covering for those white kids, is something that is not surprising, unfortunately, for a lot of black and brown people in this country, but something that I think, maybe to Ceez's point, if you are not in community and haven't really had these conversations, these really deep conversations with folks, you're probably not going to have a good opinion on it. You're not going to know what to say. But I also don't think that should be an excuse. I think, one of the better things that the left has done is showing up for trans allies. And there isn't a single really prominent trans, streamer, no one to the level of Hassan or Majority Report. There's some great people out there. I shout them out all the time. Jesse Gender is one of my faves. Riverdale, I forget her name exactly, but she streams on Thursdays, and I would usually watch her because she streams late at night, and it would be after Power Report. So like when I'd still be awake from streaming, but like winding down, I'd watch her, and she's incredibly smart and does incredibly great stuff, right? But they're all, due to the nature of many things and many biases in society, they can't get their voice out. And so it was great that the left kind of came together and even fought other people's on the left who are trying to downplay the experiences and the problems that trans people are going through. So I don't even buy and it's not like an argument with you, Ceez, but like I ran through the scenarios like, oh, maybe it's not a political story, or like, oh, maybe there's this reason or that reason, maybe it's a media focus, but there's no reason not to mention the story and talk about it if you're on the left, except for the typical bias reasons I've been ranting about. But yeah, I'm mad that I didn't hear about that from any of this media. I didn't hear about cop shot the kid again. And I think it was like a 4-year-old where they said that they thought his water bottle was a gun, and they tried to say he did like self-delete by cop was the reason. This is like a kid. Like, these stories are still happening. They're going on all the time. Part of being a black or brown person in America, especially, seeing all the stuff that's happening with ICE lately, seeing all the deaths that do get sometimes reported in some of these media spaces. This isn't like a full critique here, but sorry to quote Kendrick Lamar, but one protest for you, 365 for me. Like that is kind of the impasse that I'm at here. And so I didn't want to frame this as a critique of what these shows should or shouldn't be doing, because I kind of hate the meta commentary about shows, talking about shows. And I hate all that, right? It's a thing I want to point out that's very clear, but like the facts of the story, like the Nolan Wells case, is the thing I actually care about.
And I agree with you. When my critique is not that I expect prominent leftist people to take this story, absorb all of it and give me a rendition of what they feel like the facts is. But I think that they could definitely highlight some of these really great creators in that crime space who are leftists, who make content. There's, like you mentioned, there's some even trans ones that make incredible clips online discussing on like the details of this crime. It would be nice to have them being propped up, and when they do the classic YouTube watch someone else's video on it and like react to it. They could have done that, and at least I think highlighted more of it and covered it and made it a widespread story. Which also, it's weird because so many times consistently it's become a prominent part of like some of the left content is like crime and some of the and crime mystery and especially when it comes to like things that have happened to Black people in an unjust fashion. And this story is reeks of meddling, reeks of racism, the fucking giving their phone back. Once the story his little friends are doing on the phone, I'm like, y'all sound so fucking shady on this. Like, this is terrible. It's all inconsistent. It's weird. Talking about there were stories about his phone being wiped before they returned it. I'm like, nah, this shit is just the recording of the 911 call and him in the background. I'm like, this is just, it's a lot.
So I was pulling it up right now. Jam actually, because see everything else I've been saying. They were covering this and they were talking about the audio, and I'm trying to scrub and find where they had the clip of the audio here, because I also have a transcript and I'm like, this is horrifying. There's also the Brandon Tatum. Oh God. Okay, so yeah, I found both. I'll play this, and then a little bit later on, I'll play some of the Brandon Tatum stuff too, because yeah, that's asinine. But here is the audio. Let me get this up here.
Thing that's happening in the background while we're calling, right?
So I'll play it and then I'll try to like read over it after it plays, because it's a little bit hard to hear. And also in this edited version, they took out what the 911 dispatcher was saying, so you can only hear whatever is on the phone call.
Okay, so they removed the audio of the 911 person who was like asking the questions. Okay.
Yes, and mind you, the story at this point, never mind the first part of this transcript being the question, quote, can we cover it up? But the story here at this point is that they're calling 911 because they're on a boat that is sinking.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they're asking for things. Anyways.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
So transcript, and it's unclear who was saying this. There's a lot of people talking. Can we cover it up? Yeah, I thought all about that. Oh, you killed him. He's already dead. Is he dead? Yeah. Nolan. Oh my God. Nolan, wake up. Some inaudible crosstalk conversation. They're on Horn Island off the coast of Mississippi. Someone yelling to Wyatt, get up, fuck up. Now he's really dead now. Combine that with no one's been arrested. The point's gonna be made a little bit earlier, but one case is like, oh, well, maybe they're underage drinking. It's like, okay, well, in underage drinking cases where things go bad, like, look, I'm not going to say that underage drinking doesn't happen in America. I'm not going to say that I didn't participate in underage drinking when I was younger, yet he who was not sin cast the first stone. But when underage drinking goes bad, whoever bought the alcohol gets in trouble. There's an adult that's in trouble. It's an adult that's spends a night in holding or two, right? You look at a cop the wrong way, you're in holding, right? So the fact that none of these kids, none of the parents, and when you hear the gut-wrenching story about how Nolan's parents were just trying to get information from the friends, you think, I don't even want to do the analogy with us because I don't even want to think about that shit, right? But like, if you have friends, if like one of your friends gets injured or has like a tragic incident and they're like on the brink of death or dead, and it's not your fault, you're going to be very upfront with everything. You might be a little bit emotional, but you're not going to be hiding information. You're not going to be, oh, I don't know where Nolan's keys or phone is. And the dad has to go and overhear what's happening in the other room where they're like hiding the keys and phone. And the dad walks in and sees the keys and phone on top of he sees the dead kid's items on top of the fucking Xbox. And the kids are like, oh, I don't know what happened. Oh, I don't know. Oh, quick, hide it. I don't know. What do we do? How do we cover this up? Yeah, it's insane. I'll play the Tatum's part in a minute, but any thoughts you have?
No, I mean it's one of those things. Yeah, and thank God the Supreme Court decided that racism is over. Like literally, because it's like it's something that people think that we're making progress and we're moving forward. Then here we go again. It's always a here we go again, and I just feel it's like when we talked about a little bit of there was discussions about the David case with the girl, the rapper David and the minor that he was. Is it even alleged? Did he get prosecuted for it? They found the body remains
It's alleged,
of a minor.
but it's in court, and it's like
yeah, like literally they found the remains of this poor child in his car. I'm like, consistently we see these behaviors and actions happen, especially when it comes to like racism in this space, and it's like, I don't know. I just really feel for that family, man. That's the worst thing to hear. It's like all this audio, especially the audio. Someone in the background be like, "Is he dead?" And they're screaming Nolan. It's like that mom hearing that, or that father's like, "That's my fucking kid in the background they're talking about." And then I pull up to you guys, and you're acting all funny about not having his items. What? Are you fucking kidding me right now?
I'm stopping myself from saying shit, man. Jam pointed this out as well, but the trash panda behavior of Tatum here, not just having this kid on and not just giving him like a softball kids gloves interview, no pun intended, kids gloves interview.
It's fucking Tatum, dude.
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? This is a black conservative, but you know, there's levels to this. So,
random girl, according to the dude and the judge.
And so you guys get ready to leave out of there.
He's like chilling with this guy, like
where's Nolan,
legs crossed, kicking it.
Yeah, you know, this is a joke.
This is an unnerving interview. Like you're talking to somebody who's possibly murdered his kid, and you're like,
this is the Joe Budden podcast.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, man. So like, talk about what happened to us, you know?
Like what?
You can't like Joe Rogan, yo Jamie. So like, it's weird.
What does Perplexity say about that?
God. So here,
get ready to leave out of there, getting towed out.
Yeah.
And then where's Nolan in this situation?
Well, Nolan was
where? Nolan was where? Keep in mind, this is 4:30. We're talking about where's Nolan?
Well, Nolan was the last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock. And Nolan was cradling a girl in his arms, Katie, Katie. And Katie, Nolan was sitting there. And the last time I saw him, I looked at Nolan, and Nolan was like shaking his head, laughing. And I was like, dude, you crazy. I was like just joking with him. And but anyway, Nolan, that was the last time I laid eyes on him. But when we were leaving, obviously, no one is getting left at the island that came with us unless they demanded to, be there and ask, this is a very common thing at Horn Island. When you're out there, a lot of people ride out there with someone and in with somebody else all the time. I've done that 100 times. It's a very common thing, but Nolan was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl.
And so the last time you saw him wasn't 3 o'clock. The last time you saw him was 4:30. Okay, so very matter.
Yeah, so there's some edits that are
God,
like there's some edits that are in there, but it's not even like the worst part that I was hearing from this. Here's that
interview with Warren.
Okay.
His supposed friend.
Out on the island,
right?
Women, you probably had alcohol.
So
why is Tatum having such a good time with this shit?
Where's Nolan in this?
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I remember.
Like, why are you having fun with this fucking story?
Summer's on the lake, baby. You know how it is.
Jesus.
You had alcohol,
of
so
course,
y'all having a good time.
Yeah, of course.
And so where's Nolan in this? You guys out there, the friend groups are out there, 3 boats full of people that came out there that seem to be the closest friend group.
Right.
Where's Nolan in this in comparison to where you and others are at?
Well, I had a couple conversations with Nolan that day, and I talked to him and a couple of my other buddies. They are in a group. I was not focused on anyone solely, like looking and pointing anyone out, because there's so many people out there. I mean, I was talking to my friends that I haven't seen.
This is like the only nigga on that island in Mississippi. Like, I'm not saying you're solely pointed to this guy. And it's like, it would not be great if he was like, yeah, I was really looking out for my, like black friend. Actually, that would have been kind of great though. But like, there's so much that doesn't pass the sniff test here. Like,
yeah,
I have a couple years back, I was on the lake in California with my a person who would be my girlfriend not even 24 hours after that. But honestly, that was admittedly my fault because we went to the lake together with like a group of her friends. And then as we were going through, I went off and may or may not have started flirting with other women and ended up somewhere else that night. And my phone wasn't charged. And so I didn't have like a conversation with anyone. They thought I was lost and like in trouble or had drowned or some shit. And so when I finally dragged my ass back to my girlfriend's place,
But your sorry behind back.
She had, and you know what? Just for all intents and purposes, this was a white woman. She had called me a bunch of times. I was like, where the fuck were you? We were looking for you for hours. What the hell is going on? So needless to say, that relationship didn't work out well. But I'm like, that's bare minimum shit.
Yeah.
That's bare minimum shit. Like, I don't think I would have been Nolan Wells. This was a lake in rural California. Like, there's a lot of people of color there, like for sure. Like that wouldn't have been the thing. But you know, we've all had these experiences. They mostly don't go like this, right?
Yeah.
That's frustrating. But here's the other bit here.
Like looking and pointing anyone out because there's so many people out there. I mean, I was talking to my friends that I haven't seen in a while from high school. I was talking from people I knew from college. I was talking to, you know, everybody my age and even people older than us were, you know, over there. Like, I mean, it was just a regular thing. You know, we're all used to this. We've been out to the islands before. My buddies don't just go out to the island on 4th of July, but they go out, you know, every weekend. Like I fish the islands. I don't just, you know, fish around Horn Island. I fish around Chip Island too. So I'm very familiar with the islands. And
no one knows where he went.
I feel like it was just a big, I talked to Nolan and, you know, Nolan was drinking. Everybody was drinking, most of everybody. And I mean, Nolan seemed completely fine every time I talked to him. We had just regular conversations and, you know, Nolan was making me laugh. I had a couple conversations with Nolan and Javon, Nolan and my buddy James, Nolan.
So we're gonna.
Yes, it's like, you know, I was here with this guy, I was here with so-and-so. We were doing
like all these corroborating people, all these witnesses.
You know, by the way, I guess it's worth mentioning he was drunk. And that was the part that set me off. And it did set the Jam Boys off as well pretty hard.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to tell me that you are going to blame this on underage drinking.
Yeah.
In America, in Mississippi on the 4th of July. You're not going to tell me that, oh, your friend's off with a baddie. It's like, okay, make sure you have your phone. Text me when you like get back or some shit like that. That'd be like the last thing you say to your homie, right?
Yeah.
If that sort of thing is happening. A lot of people have location on their phones. They're tracking their friends all the time. Like, I'm glad I never had to live that iPhone life because a lot of y'all are stalkers. But like, you know, that's a common thing people do is like they share location with people, especially when they're going into sketchy situations or they're alone or they like want to let their friends know where they are, right? So yeah, none of this. Well, I'm not going to say it passed the smell test. You smell it, smells like shit and lies. So in that case, it passes the smell test. But the test actually, like, you know, the end result is everyone involved in this, including Tatum, need to be in court.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, including Tatum. Yeah, like literally.
I'm kind of kidding because go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say like there's some of the Jam Boys are saying, so like I'm kind of repeating what they're saying, honestly. So like, I haven't really. This isn't my opinion, and so maybe I haven't run it through my usual. How would this work legally? But like, you could maybe make a case. I don't know. Watch the whole interview, but is Tatum helping to disparage the character of Nolan Wells, or you know his, you know, like distort whatever happened during the situation? Because clearly he's doing the shit for clout. Like I don't know what sort of like legal retaliation you could have or like emotional damage you could have in court, but I mean like throw the book at them. This is America, dude. Like if they want to play America like that, then let's play America. Throw the book at their asses.
Yeah, I mean, when you sit there at an interview having a good time, you know, arms up, legs crossed, and you're like, are you really trying to decipher the truth when your question is, so y'all just out there having a good time with these women? It's like, when, like they said in the chat, women, women here?
Yeah.
It's literally minors. Like, what? Those
Let's say
girls.
some of them are above 18, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They're in the early 20s.
He's framing it like something might have went.
Tatum's older than me. If a woman is in your younger 20s, like if you call her a girl, like it's understood.
If you're framing questions for them to be like, yeah, we're just having a good time, you're helping feed into their lie that like Nolan just basically the reason he's died was his own fault. We all walk through life and have different experiences with people. Dying isn't just like some easy thing. So it's not like it's like, oh, whoopsie, he's dead. It's like, no, y'all are covering up the fucking truth. Okay. Y'all are covering up the truth. And Tatum's bombshell interview did not help with anything. If anything, you helped them corroborate a story by giving this guy all the fun. And then like Jam showed in that 1 second, they jumped from 3 p.m. to 4:30 to talk to him all the time. You know, everybody's drinking because I guess this drunk kid just got himself killed. That's what happened. It's a joke the way they've been doing it.
Yeah, like I don't think, you know, there's, and thankfully in my case, a lot of protections for being a media person, what you can say online about public figures, at least. There could be an argument about whether or not Nolan Wells is a public figure, which I don't think would be a strong argument. I don't think he is one. But I don't want to get too marred in like the legal case of Tatum. That's why when you said, okay, Nancy Grace, I don't know her politics like that. I just know that like she is on these actually.
She covers it. I literally was like, I'm gonna look at this shit. Yeah,
I confuse Nancy Drew and Nancy Grace all the time. I thought they were both on the case at this point.
First of all, I was not just chatting. I was not advocating for Nancy Grace. I just didn't know she was alive, and she came on my feed as algorithm, and I'm like, this is like the first thing I've seen on coverage on this was like the long form YouTube, and it said with Tatum. I was like, what? Let me spark one up and watch this shit. Let me spark one up and watch this.
At least Nancy Grace got the information out. But when you said I almost called him Channing Tatum. when you said that Brandon Tatum was on there, I was like, huh, interesting.
Yeah, Officer Tatum, whatever the fuck calls himself. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing that because like,
yeah.
Let's say who was not Dan Blazerian? He was the guy who was in the FBI for a moment. Baldwin, former Obama CIA guy. You know what I'm talking about. God.
Oh, the one that was doing the rounds or whatever, like talking about the CEO stuff. Like, I mean, being the CIA at any time. He went on a few podcasts, right?
No, but he was up with Kash Patel. Dan Bongino.
Oh, Dan Bongino.
That's right.
Bongino. Yeah.
So yeah, Dan Bongino's thing is like he was a former Secret Service for Obama or whatever. And so he has that inside scoop on like things that involve law and courts. And, you know, that's what these guys do. If you're going to be a retired cop turned podcaster, and I can't think of any job on earth that qualifies you for the electric chair more, but like if you're going to be a cop turned podcaster, you're leveraging the fact that you're a cop and you previously worked in law enforcement as like part of your shtick. So that should ideally bring some extra knowledge or information to whatever show you're doing. Yo, if Officer Tatum talked to every single perp like that, he might have been the best cop ever because no one got arrested.
Yeah, he'd be a woke cop.
yeah, it's like, sir, were you drinking tonight? Oh, well, you know, I was like, you know, I was with my guys, and it was like, you know, back there. But before that, we had some water, and you know, I drink with a lot of people from different times. I'm over there from, but like, you know, it's okay.
No,
good.
We're having a good time. It's all good. Have a good night. Like what? Wait, what?
like dead ass here. So I have said enough about my media critiques. I think it's pretty clear about how I feel about Officer Tatum, that he deserves the electric chair, just on a moral level. Yeah. And yeah, again, I recommend folks watch this. If you didn't know about this before and want to learn more after this, the Jams video is the new Nolan Wells audio should put people in jail. Jam emergency episode. So check that out on their channel, JAAM. They did a great, yeah, they did a great job covering it. They also do work on TikTok, etc. I'm not going to glaze them up because for all I know, they're not misogynist or anything like that. But after my experience of 10 years in leftist media, I am going to be very careful to gas up anybody. Not because I don't like or don't trust anyone. I've just been burned way too many times at this point. So, you know, I'll say at this point right now, it's good. Aaron Patton, I'm also very curious about listening to a podcast co-hosted by an ex-cop and he stays on cops' asses. Like that's, you know, they're good, but those podcasts unfortunately don't often break through as easily. But I'm definitely curious to what that is like. But yeah, definitely rest in peace, Nolan Wells. This story shouldn't you know, if people got time for true crime documentaries and, you know, like you're kind of saying earlier in politics, where the right's narrative on crime is the immigrants are coming and taking your jobs and ruining cities, and they're coming to suburbs now too, and they've got guns and everything. You know, unfortunately, there's some like human interest in crime stories. That's why local news looks like it does today.
Yeah.
It'd be a really savvy strategy for the left to go, all right, here's the crime part of our show. Here's black people not getting justice because of our police and our broken system. Let's put on our like Dan and Hassan production hats for a little bit, and let's think about how we create propaganda. Let's think about how we fight existing propaganda with better propaganda.
Yeah. Use it as a tool.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's figure out, okay, it's like, yeah. So when you're out in public and someone's talking about all the crime, it's like, well, damn, what about the crime of Nolan Wells? 50 white people on an island in Mississippi. No one knows what happened to this black kid who magically showed up, drowned. You know, some people say he was, you know, grinding on a girl going to an island about to, you know, sign the deal, whatever, do the thing. Apparently his body washes up dead because he quote unquote drowned, fully clothed. Not even like, you know, wearing some swim trunks and like a shirt. Like what? You know, so let's reframe, let's hack the discourse. Let's reframe crime and talk about these stories. So that people don't forget these things and we keep coming back to them, because it's so often, and I've done it too, we forget about all these stories. But so that we can start to change people's minds, not pundits or things like that, but regular people walking around. My mom was here and in New York, and she was freaking out about the subway. And I was like, the easiest way to get home is the subway. We're going to take it. It's going to be fine. She sat down on that subway, 2 train, 10 p.m., head through Manhattan. And she was like, wow, this is so calm. It's well lit. There's cops on board. There's some teenagers who are like loud in the back, but like they're not doing anything. They're not bothering anyone. She's reading over there. There's a guy with his full MacBook outside. Clearly, he's not afraid. We're all black on this train.
Wait, you're telling me that that all those videos about it, people doing backflips and violent and crime and being murdered, it's not every single train, every single time of the day, all the time. It's a catastrophe. It's just a normal, regular experience that workers go to work 5 to 7 days a week and experience every day. Like, it's like.
When we're talking about backflips, my mom didn't even see one of the performers. I thought that was scary.
That's the whole point of going. I want to see the dude doing the flips, man.
I guess it was the 4th of July, and that guy was out seeing his family. God bless him.
His day off.
God
Yeah.
bless him. But
Stupid
yeah,
mom Donnie said I had a day off that day.
love my mom. Yeah, she's a liberal, but that is, you know, that process created me and got me to where I am. So you can thank her for that. But you know, most of what she consumes is MS Now and local news. Yeah. And so reasonable people.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people's mothers or fathers or whoever's in their life or guardians or whoever, they would have the consistent opinion on that based on what they consume. Yeah. But it's like usually the younger people telling them, or a lot of them are saying, but a lot of the young people are like, that shit's great actually. And I love it. So I enjoy taking a train, as do millions of people do across the world, let alone the country every day.
Yeah, exactly. So like it was a great, because you know, many people's moms, but mine doesn't often. She's happily retired near the beach in California. So honestly, she shouldn't have to give up. She grew up in the South. She shouldn't have to give a fuck about it yet. That's all right. But you know, she's trying out new things, and she's like, "Oh, this is super easy. I feel totally fine doing this." She went to me and she's like, "I wouldn't ride that shit at 2 a.m. But I feel better at 10 p.m. now. I feel better at 10 p.m." And so you know. That was a whole, you know, somewhat cute. I rarely talk about my family, but you know, there you go. That anecdote was to mean that you can have these conversations with people in your life who may not be fully there, but reframing crime and talking about stuff like this versus, oh, well, there was that one pretty white girl who got slashed by that black guy on a train somewhere. Like, you know, why aren't we talking about that? It's like, you know, Republicans can push out 3 of those stories a day. They're really good at this. Ben Shapiro, those types, to the extent that no one listens to him, but no one does. But they're really good at creating and manufacturing these stories, and then Democrats get asked about them on TV, and they're usually like, "Oh, what the fuck? What do we do? I don't know." Or they flip and they don't give a good answer, and then they make the people who fell for the Republican propaganda just go like, wow, 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 look at that. We are so right, and the Democrats don't have anything to say about it. The Democrats aren't even talking about it, but we're paying attention to all this crime that's happening. They're not even talking about the caravans, but we're paying attention. We're the and then that's how you get Trump. That's how you get people like Anna Kasparian and Cenk talking about Trender Wagra and like apartments. Like that's how you get they're eating the cats and dogs. Like very easy way to go.
What the right and conservatives do, they enact, they spit and spew horrible practices, but their means and what they do is effective. So what we need to do is learn from our enemy, take some of those tools they use and use it to our advantage, and then and bust that shit out our own way. Start using these crime, the popularity that will never escape Americans is the natural love and like intuition they have to listen to crime and crime documentaries. It's like a fascinating part of media that has been since the beginning of time for Americans have enjoyed, whether it's from the news reports on it, to the documentary shows, to Dateline, to YouTube, to JCS psychology. It's a prominent in just humanity. It's in something that's inquisitive for people. Use that to the advantage. Cover these stories. Talk about how the police committed atrocities and injustices throughout the whole process that has led to what happened. The story will still be fascinating, and people will only learn that the vehicles of the judicial system are broken beyond belief. It's just education overall.
100%. But yeah, like I think the show is always, the power is always with you type shit.
Yep.
There's a trick. Game for free. I back in the day, I used to do political consulting on the side. I never took any money because I would just help my friends who are running for office try to do their best. But I'm pretty good at this. And yeah, you just flip it and take the thing they care about, give them something to chew on that promotes your ideology, and it'll be great. Also, I see in chat Aaron and UCs are talking about like a leftist true crime podcast. I want to say the folks over at Last Podcast on the Left do something like that. I'm not into true crime that much, so I don't really know about it, but I've been recommended by really good friends who are the few friends I have in my life whose politics have caught up with me. So I have stayed alongside with mine. So I really trust their recommendations. But I think the folks from Last Podcast on the Left may have some podcast in their network that may cover true crime. I know there are a couple out there. So yeah, if you are into true crime, go for it.
Yeah.
Can we spend the last 15 minutes talking about something completely non-political and just like raunchy and funny?
Yeah, I'm down.
I don't know if you've seen this. But the gender wars are back, but this time it's kind of interesting to me. I usually don't pay attention to the stuff because it's like CIA shit, honestly. But the discourse now is biphobia and homophobia among straight women.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. There's a number
ladies,
of
what are y'all doing here, ladies?
there's no real start to this. This is like I've been needing to fill my head with things and just like, dead air while I'm doing work or doing chores around my apartment. So I'm just like, okay, play something. And now I'm in the trenches again. And as usual, just this discourse starts and then the discourse explodes because people have like a bunch of different opinions on this. Absolutely Citron. Yes. Cat Black, who I should also shout out as one of my favorite non-binary trans creators on the platform, who is also a Black woman. So please follow Cat Black if you're not already on TikTok and on YouTube. She's great. I get a lot of information from her as well. But I've appreciated this because as a bi man myself, I have noticed these things. I also feel like as a man, I'm not going to speak up and go borderline along misogyny, along like describing some of these things. But we've seen this in like culture about like down low culture and women who don't want to date men, and the answer is, well, I don't want my man being submissive. And it's like, oh, so you want to be submissive for another man? It's like, where's your feminism end and begin sort of thing? And I think this makes it worse because, and I want to hear your thoughts. I don't know how into the Discord is, but I want to hear your thoughts. I think an interesting and untapped conversation is, what are the limits of feminism for Gen Y, millennial, and Gen Z women? Because I don't think that's been explored enough. We've talked to death about looks maxing and male podcast stuff, right? Like, we've talked a lot about that aspect of things. We haven't really gone down into like, where's the intersectionality piece? What are the limits to feminism? How much is it like, oh, women get to do this, but men can't? Like, how liberated are we? It is kind of like always been a question I have, but I'm smart enough to not express these opinions on the internet.
These are all Dan's opinions. Women, do whatever you want. I don't know what he's talking about. Here he goes. I don't know what he's talking about. Ladies, not me. Just, are we going to talk about are we talking about reading or no?
so tread carefully, ceez. But what are your thoughts on females?
Oh, yeah, they're so fucking cool, and I just love when they're just in their space, cultivating a wonderful environment for them and their friends.
Okay, no, seriously though. Is any of this sort of like interesting to you?
Yeah, I mean, apart from the limits on limits to feminism, yeah.
No, let me be clear. I'm not advocating for limits to feminism. I'm just curious at
how far can these women be radical?
But I'm like, okay, I'm asking that question from a different way. I'm saying there's a lot of women who, I mean, and this is nothing new under the sun, that like women are like some of the number one endorsers of patriarchy. Of course, not all women, but like if you're looking for who helps keep up patriarchy, yes, it's men, but in many cases, in my own experience in activism and just like in life in general, women will stand up to that too. Just like, what are some of the biggest people who defend white supremacy? Black people. Not all, but like, that there's a lot. There's Candace Owens. Whenever there's a token, you will see a lot of them. And so there's this whole like media thing there. But I'm just curious how there seem to be a lot of contradictions in the general wisdom that millennial women and Gen Z women are more feminist and more to the left of things. That wouldn't be consistent with the dating discourse where everyone's always talking about, oh, who's 50-50 and can you date a bi man or a bi woman or whatever, like all this other different stuff. It sounds like these could easily be just two separate parts of the internet community having a fight, like as always is the case. But I'm curious, not that this needs to be answered, but as a thought experiment of, is that statistic, that hypothesis about millennial and Gen Z women being more left, which would imply more radical around gender, more radical around sex politics, than like, is that true? Or are they missing, like many polls do, something bubbling under where there is a patriarchal backlash to certain aspects of queer theory and gender theory and feminist theory that are coming from some women who like pick and choose which parts of feminism they like and which parts they hate. And I'm not, again, like, I think it's an interesting thought experiment. I think this helps to kind of like dice it out. And I'm glad that the people that I watch in general are on the right side of this. But I just think it's very...
The right side, you say?
People like Cat Black. Argue with her.
I'm glad all the traditional content creators, tradwives that you would say, comment on this. I enjoy their perspectives and they are free to have them. Nah, I mean, I mean, it's a loaded thought experiment for sure. I just think a little bit difficult for me to provide insight on it's tough for me as straight male to offer understanding and a perspective of women.
Breaking news,
country.
ceez is straight.
hey man, hey, I just got my CPF. I gotta be careful now. I'm serious. If a man can't cook, I'm not dating them. See, that's the problem. Did he say straight? Ha ha ha. What do you mean? Wait, no. Okay, Brazil, whatever happens below the equator does not fucking count.
I just think it's funny. I stay away from all of this discourse. I find it to be extremely toxic and not productive. And
Cat Black can talk about this all day. I'm so down. Yeah, I'm in there like this. Listen.
The only reason I'm not even into it, but there's a big hole of media that I'm trying to fill, and now my algorithm is just sending me the slop.
You pissed me off, Dan. You pissed me off. No, fuck this.
Explain.
I was excited thinking you were going to give me a great time to spend the last 10 minutes shitting on FIFA. But what you did is you set me up with a two-step and dropped a woman-sized nuke and my perspective on women having the freedom to read and speak. You set me up, dog. I was excited.
Listen, I said we want to have some fun. I didn't say who would be having fun.
Yeah, fun for
I'm having a blast.
Our fucking ops. The hell?
No. I will be so yeah. The only reason I was into this was because as a bisexual man, we're not often acknowledged that much. We're sleeper agents. So I was like, okay, finally, I'm in the discourse, and I went into it. I'm like, I didn't. God forbid, I didn't comment on anything. I didn't say anything, and I haven't liked anything except Cat Blacks and one other person. But it's been funny with. The reads of bi men have been great because it's always gay men know how to read, but you never really hear it. One of my favorite TikToks was and this is last, and then I do actually want to talk about FIFA for 2 minutes. This is the last. This is the last one. But one guy said, "There's a lot of women arguing about how they would never date a bisexual man, and they're all for feminism, and those are the women who are filling up Chris Brown shows."
Look, you're trying to bait me
misogynist.
You're baiting me into talking. You know what, Dan?
The line.
I'm not going to do it.
The line of misogynist women and the line of Chris Brown, the circle of Chris Brown.
Are you telling me there's an overlap? Or are you saying there's an overlap?
Many people are saying this. Okay.
But famous bisexual man talking points. Continue. Continue.
How long till we can give this FIFA president the boot?
It's always the double dippers that have the most fun talking some shit, huh? Having some fun talking some shit.
Double dippers now. Whoa, man.
You just can't you have it all, but you want more, don't you, Dan? You want more. You have it all, but you want more. And woe is me. I get the best of both worlds, but it's not enough. Is that what you're going to tell me?
It's not enough.
Oh God.
Okay, super last thing, honestly. Why it's kind of like politics in a way, because why do I have to rely on white liberals for any chance at slight liberation in this country? Why do we have to rely on UEFA to decorrupt FIFA? Okay. That's wild.
Because let everybody sit and listen. I know we spent 2 hours listening to Dan bash white people. Dan did that, not Caesar. Okay, I am barely a citizen. I did not say any of this. Dan said that. Listen,
God,
sometimes in order to make shit happen, you know what we got to start doing? Sometimes Whitey got to help us out too. We need a little bit of Whitey's help, okay, guys? And this time, Whitey went harder than everybody else. They literally went full boycott mode. And that shit worked to the T. Isn't FIFA supposed to be corrupt though? Yes. Yes. That's literally their job.
I've been using Bam's quote of like, there is no government or organization, let alone sports organization, not just on Earth, but in the known universe, more corrupt than FIFA.
Yeah.
There's not a single government.
Hey, they're a nonprofit. Relax. They were only using Jared Kushner to run an investment arc that was going to fund their events program because they only broke all the records for the last World Cup of $5 billion in earning revenue. They needed Jared Kushner to push it farther because Jared Kushner is doing a great job famously in Albania and famously now on FIFA.
Famous country that really loves nonprofits and being above the law, Albania.
Albania, by the way.
Famous investors who really love nonprofits and being above the law and morals and principles, the Saudis.
Yeah, shout out Dua Lipa, but she's going hard over there. Going hard against what's her name, Ivanka.
What is just like a quick rundown? What was FIFA trying to do, and why did UEFA boycott it?
So essentially, FIFA decided to run FIFA. No, let me actually. This is the crazy part. FIFA didn't decide to do this. Baldy Gianno Infantino, famous. Yes, I am gay. I am today. I woke
as
up
a soccer ball. I am gay. As a
gay.
Soccer ball, I am Muslim.
One of the best clips of all time. Famous Gianno Infantino, who was elected after the CIA or the FBI ran an investigation and tried to put Sepp Blatter in jail, whatever, and kicked him out the seat. Gianno Infantino ran on clean. Sepp Blatter, the fun time we had with that. Gianno Infantino came in running on being clear and transparent. So after the World Cup and giving us commercials and water breaks and $5 billion in revenue they made on the back of $8,000 tickets and nosebleeds, we all were just like, okay, it's over. We're tired. Gianno said, how about this? We're going to offer federations around the world an opportunity to sell 20% stake of FIFA to an investment firm ran by venture capital, also backed by JP Morgan, who also JP Morgan, the last time they did some funny shit, said, we heard your response and we learned from it. Crazy. Here's JP Morgan again, not learning. Gianno Infantino ran a selling off portions of the sport for 20% stake, and they would get a $40 million cash injection after it's been sold. He did not consult anyone about this, and then he gave them a September 19th deadline to make a $20 million decision. Behind the back.
So extortion.
Yes.
It's like ransom.
He was finessing the plug. This was
art of the deal right there. Honestly,
this was exposed by Sky News and BBC, and the first reaction from FIFA was
Sky. We have to rely on British Sky.
Yes,
and
BBC
Sport.
BBC Sport. That Bam uses VPNs to watch illegally. Yes, I said that.
Microphones.
Yes, he came out and gaslit everybody as the first response and said, that is like made up. We're going to have this committee happen anyways. The media, basically blaming the media. And then UEFA boycotted CONCACAF, which is the region of the North America region, is agreed with them. Asia, which includes Saudi Arabia, agreed with UEFA. South America was silent, of course. I don't want to talk about my people right now. I'll go in. But yeah, that boycott was serious. UEFA said they would not participate in anything moving forward unless absolute destruction of this happening. And that would mean that the Women's World Cup wouldn't be having European teams. FIFA World Cup wouldn't happen. They committed to it. And FIFA, after mounting pressure, they released this beautiful statement saying, we've heard what the people said. This is a democracy where many opinions are in. It's like they do the worst type of conservatism where they hit you with the disgusting, like, this is a marketplace of ideas.
He's so good.
Everyone gets to say something.
The thing I hate about
wait, Dan, real quick. Before you go, the last point on this is the funniest part about all of it. He was about to be running for a re-election in 2027 unopposed to stay until 2031. He has now mounting opposition, and now there's going to be candidates running against him. His own greed fucked his own presidency over. So we will see what happens.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Like, honestly, they don't make him like Infantino anymore. Like, true, like Gianni
Shout out
Infantino,
Italy.
Yeah, like Italy knows how to make him, I guess.
You guys keep killing it, man. Especially in soccer. Good job, Italy. Great job, bro.
But like that's just how Democrats work. That's just how Democrats work. But Gianni Infantino threw in a little bit of that, Donald Trump art of the deal, blatant out and out corruption sauce.
3 months in America, I wonder who he's hanging out with.
With the, I mean, we literally know about the perfect phone call number 2 that literally changed some of the not effectively, but did change some of the actual parts of the World Cup by getting that one American player his red card revoked. In
my history of watching a sport, I have never fucking seen that before. And also, it was crazy that he didn't just do it and like they just wrote off, the classic media, like don't talk about it and it'll go out of the news. Literally, he went on and started boasting that he made this phone call to because a great injustice happened. We're like, you did this? You did this shit? You don't even know soccer, you fucking what?
By the way, he also admitted he didn't know soccer in that speech.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know. I just thought it was important. I don't know the goals.
He did this, by the way, guys, he did this for a birthright citizen. Trump. Trump, the player he did this for, I think literally was in America for 30 days. He was a birthright citizen.
I hate this phrase, but to be a Republican for a moment, his mom had an anchor baby.
Yeah. She got on a plane against doctor's wishes, flew to New York, was pregnant, delivered the baby, then left, never came back. And Trump is like, that's my fucking dog.
Model American.
I got you, Flo. I got you, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Reason number 17 to crash out if you're like being impacted by ICE at all, but like definitely a reason to go. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. White, it's like if I'm a white person, I'd be like, wait, what? He did what for who?
It's like what? I had almost forgotten about this because remember how like there are all these special visas that came out. Like there was the golden visa that came out where Trump was like, hey, if you don't want to get ICE, just pay me $1 million and you can have citizenship.
Yeah.
There was the one that was like, oh, we're going to give visas, like express visas to OnlyFans models and content creators from Eastern Europe. I'll call it the Andrew Tate visa, right?
That one works well.
There were so many of those things. The thing about Andrew Tate and feminism, no, I'm kidding. But like, I had almost forgotten about that corruption, and then Trump comes right back in. He's like, oh, by the way, I will do this too.
Yeah, it's great that everything ties in politically. It's like literally, of course, Trump was involved in the World Cup proceedings. Of course, something happened. Yeah, it's a
and
crazy
of course,
story.
He fucked that up too.
Yeah, and they were even reporting the European coverage of it was like saying that they really felt disillusioned by Gianni Infantino because he has such close proximity to Trump, and then he's made Trump essentially involved in FIFA proceedings, and then they're probably like they're also expecting him to do any type of bailout to save Gianni too.
Yeah,
Trump is literally over here talking about we got to get it back as soon as possible. I'm gonna make a couple calls. Like, what are you talking about, man?
Trump doesn't even
What
work.
are you talking about?
Like something just came to me. One, I appreciate
There's 211 countries in his membership, not just America, by the way. 211. And the last thing I'll say that's funny about this is that the great thing about FIFA's democracy approach when it comes to voting, being big like in America has power, but it's actually one vote per country. So if your region has millions of little countries in there, you have millions of votes. That's the funny part about it.
Africa, we up.
Yeah, Africa's
Africans can't agree on anything.
No, first of all, Africa we up, but sadly Africa was like there's AFCON statement was like, we're gonna see if something funny's going on, but we'll
cue
just wait.
Cue that clip of the guy going, "I'm against corruption unless I'm involved."
yeah. And they were like, we don't want to get in there too much because they might ask us about us, like what we're doing. So we don't, we'll wait what everybody's doing.
That's like, what's going on in Morocco?
Like this. You guys see them people swimming? That's what they care about. That's what they want to talk about.
Yeah, that's a totally different thing.
The Quetta thing is crazy.
Yeah, I won't go into. I'm just gonna say that America's got their hands all over that shit. Like you can't tell me otherwise. But
yeah, the video of the kid being like, we all just seen like a tweet or something that was like to come over. I was like,
There's two realizations I had, and we can kind of start to wrap up around here. But like, there's two realizations I had from what you were describing. Number one, during this Trump administration, something I tried to do early on was just like to make sure that I have outside international news sources, international to the United States news sources in my repertoire. And like I don't trust BBC worth a damn for like much anymore, if I ever did. But it is still helpful to like get those other perspectives of like in America, you will be 1984. There is no war in Ba Sing Se. Like you will think this is all normal because everyone in society and everyone in power in society has normalized this, even the so-called opposition. But no one outside of this country is thinking about this as normal. And I'm glad because this kind of like helps with the gaslighting of it all. But secondly, we just got to sit with the fact, ceez, that Donald Trump worked harder for the United States in the World Cup than not only anyone who has ever managed Team USA, but also he worked harder for this little fixing the World Cup thing, probably than he's worked on Iran.
Dan, that was in his administration. That was his first successful phone call. He's always talking about, he said he was going to make a phone call to Russia. He says he's going to make a phone call to Ukraine. He said he's going to make a phone call to Hamas. He said he's going to make a phone call to Palestine. He said he's going to make a phone call to Nigeria. But
does Venezuela count as a phone call?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I get your point, though.
Yeah, it counts. But that was his first successful phone call, was a fucking soccer game. So, hey, man, great job, Trump. You should have just been a fucking sports commissioner like you were destined to be, you bum, not a president.
We'd be so much better if, like...
Oh, yeah, if he just ran like college football, that'd be great. Then we could just be upset all the time and just, it's okay, it's football.
Yeah, like, we just need to... If
you
nothing
gotta pigeonhole a guy like that. You got to put him in a space where he feels powerful, but it's really not affecting shit.
I think we're pretty clear on my opinions on, how we should deal with billionaires, but I'm also down to like Truman Show them all. I'm just put them in like a small dedicated space of just like, hey, guess what, Elon Musk? You run a regional train network. There, your autistic brain will love this. You control all the trains.
You make single passenger trains. I know.
Oh no, he'd replace them all in with Teslas, but this would be like Athens, Georgia. So like, we can deal with this. We're minimizing the impact and harm. Yeah. If let's give Trump the Savannah Bananas. He gets to manage the Savannah Bananas. And we just,
what's so funny about that? Trump will be having a good old time watching the Savannah Banana game. When they're dancing, Trump will be like, okay, look at those shorts. It's their arms are showing. Okay.
It's hot guys. It's performance.
More arms.
The games
beautiful men on the field.
The games are rigged already.
Yeah.
Like this is Trump.
They call them bananas, and I see plenty of bananas out there. Like, okay, you're having a lot of fun at these games, buddy. Let's just.
I got the team because I was like, we need some hammocks for these bananas.
We got new POVs coming out. Those meta glasses are great. Like, okay, all right, man. Okay, dog.
We have the nicest cameras, only the best cameras. Some people are saying
the zoom is great.
Some people are saying the bananas have never looked so good.
Oh dear God! I would literally. Oh my God! Yeah, that'd be fine. We need to assign every billionaire. I need 50 billionaires and put them in a line in front of me, and I'm president. And nice try, Dan. And I'm gonna assign them one state, and it's gotta be, all right, motherfucker. Elon, you're gonna go to Mississippi, and you're just building a new boat. That's what you're gonna do.
I don't want to put these billionaires in places that like still need to come up. Like we need We
Put
need,
them in a line first, Dan. Line them up against the wall, and then we'll talk about what we want to do. How about that?
For the sake of Department of Government efficiency, if you line them up like in a row, one by one,
wall.
then
I want to look at them.
Well, it depends where you. I would give. You know what? They all want to create like their own like libertarian city in California. Let's
give them Fresno. Bakersfield. We can lose it. Bakersfield. Come on, y'all. You guys need them.
I was gonna say give them
18 data centers in Lancaster. No, it's too close. No.
Okay, Palmdale. You have Amazon, so you have all that delivery shit. So there's there. You have that Mojave spaceport. That's Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos right there. There's gonna be launching rockets in the desert trying to prove who has the bigger dick.
I got it, Dan. Let's make an agreement. See, we can negotiate across the table.
Let's make a deal.
Tracy, California.
Oh, that's a good one.
Then they can build a high-speed rail from Bakersfield through there into San Francisco, and then through Bakersfield into LA. The high-speed rail can go right through it. They can have Tracy. They can do whatever they want with Tracy. I don't even care.
You could take a private jet from Tracy to Silicon Valley, but once you're in Tracy, you're kind of there, and you're kind of like sequestered and secluded, and like there's nothing out there but track homes that are gonna fall down. Track homes that are gonna fall down after like 10 years. But anyways,
Bam, I have been watching so much electoral coverage on Michigan. I'm feeling more California than ever at this time.
Everyone, please, like primaries are important, and if you have the ability or the resources to vote, or if you don't live in these states and you can volunteer or canvas or do anything that involves talking to a real person, getting the fuck off the internet, I encourage you to do that.
Please do.
But like after this last couple of weeks of this last like primary that we're having in August, I want you to focus on your races. Wherever you live, I want you to focus on your races. Bad Lefty, I know you're not gonna have any races anytime soon unless there's some special elections going on in Ireland. But like, you know,
Conor McGregor.
Focus locally, and let's get ready to win and fight, because let us hope for a future where DSA is our right wing. Let's hope for that future. I don't think we're even going to get it. But
yes, vote in those people, because then you can go, I'm gonna need you to go harder than that, and then that person come up, and hopefully it might even be you. You might be the one that comes up and goes harder than them. You can be the change also. It doesn't have to be somebody out there. You take that step. Because if Mitch McConnell can remote work, sitting there not doing shit, your ass can do something too, okay?
If you just make TikTok videos, you will be working more than Congress.
Yes, Mitch McConnell's a remote worker, man.
Again,
Bam, I told everybody before you showed up, I swallowed you. I consumed you. So now everything I speak, you're already in my body. I've consumed you. So thank you.
I'm trying to find that comment where Bam was also laughing about you being straight.
Hey, wait, no. Okay, that was a good show. That was a really good show.
Thank you all. This has been a great power report. Sachi says hi. Couldn't be here last minute. I know I promised Sachi would be on here, but he was busy. He's been doing great work on this show and other shows. So shout out to him. Shout out to Bam. Shout out to everyone who has been in the stream watching. Shout out to everyone who has been gracious. Discount Seth Rogen. Shout out to everyone who's been gracious with like our breaks, but I think that we all leave happier doing the show as a result. And I think we get a better product as well. So thank you all truly. And if you're watching on YouTube, I have set it so that it should link over to Left of the Boxes stream, Sandy Lovas. Check out her Canadian news over there, youtube.com/left of the box. And the power is always within you. Don't forget Nolan Wells, y'all. Peace.
Boom.